winning my fucking tampon!
Red. That's red.
I am winning.
Oh my god. God, dude.
I don't like vaginas.
Good evening, everyone. Good Sunday evening. We are live on the channel, Sunday night stream, and we are continuing the Star Wars Marvel Purist versus Star Wars Theory debate, which happened 2 nights ago. If you missed part 1, you don't need to see part 1 before you see this. But if you missed part 1, you guys be sure to tune back, go back and watch it. That's where the fireworks happened. That's where it was a little heated. We got through it yesterday. OG Star Wars and I got through it yesterday. It was pretty damn hilarious. And we got through most of the heated stuff yesterday. Now we're going to delve into the Theoy Sabers. We're going to delve into the Disney Star Wars needs to fail or Disney Star Wars needs to be supported conversation, and we're going to be getting into that. We're going to jump into it here pretty damn quickly. Before the stream, SWA for $5, Theoy China Saber. Use code PURE for 75% off, and that 75% is a lot, by the way. It's like, what, $750 for code PURE? I think there's a purist code as well that might get you 80% off. Don't really know for sure, but be sure to utilize that. And as the intro was playing, John Gets Gaming gifted 10 Mr. Grizzy memberships.
I know what that is!
I know what those are. 10 gifted Mr. Grizzy Live memberships. And all members of the channel, just a reminder, we will be doing the members-only post-stream hangout Q&A, and so make sure you guys tune in for that. It'll be a little bit of fun. We'll hang out with just the members. We'll bring the inner circle level members on the stream if they wish to join, and everyone else can come in and hang out for about 30 minutes or an hour or so after the stream is over this evening. Getting started a little bit early because it took OG Star Wars and I 2 hours to get through about the first 33 minutes of the video, and we got through it. Video's doing pretty good, 1.2K views in 2 days, getting Pure some watch time, getting them some engagement on the channel. More likes than dislikes, good shit. If you wish to go and watch this on your own time, there is a link to it in the description. For those of you who missed yesterday, might have no idea what's going on, Star Wars Marvel Purist has been calling out the man, Mr. Star Wars Theory, a lot as of late, and Theory finally had enough. he finally had enough and said, all right, man, I want you one-on-one. I want to have a conversation one-on-one. Originally, he wanted it to be private, called Star Wars Marvel Purist soft for refusing to go privately and have a conversation with them, even though if you ask me, I think it would be more soft to go private than to talk about it publicly, but I digress. They had their conversation, and then during Star Wars Marvel Purists, I think it was his pure unadulterated Star Wars stream, or was it a Marvel stream? I forget which one it was. But they had a conversation. So 4 hours, after going live for 4 hours, he then brought on Star Wars Theory to talk for about 2 hours, and for a grand total of like 6 hours live from Star Wars Marvel Purist, you guys. So crazy, crazy shit going on there. And we're going to jump right back into it. As I said, if you missed part 1, it's on the channel, the Mr. Grizzly Live channel. Be sure to head back and check it out after that. You don't need to see that first, but that's where all like the fireworks were happening. That's where the insults were thrown and the interrupting and the voices. So now we stopped at a perfect place. They're kind of starting to settle in, getting a little bit friendlier, and they're going to talk about some Theoy Sabers. And by the way, I'm going into this blind. I caught like 10 minutes of this. I believe it's probably towards the middle when it was going on. But we're going to continue. So this was right after they were going at each other a little bit, and then it starts to cool off and they start to go back and forth talking a bit. So we're going to pick up on it. We're going to pick up on it right now. Let's go, you guys.
W area, but San Antonio's nice.
It's chill. It seems quiet, man. I got some friends there.
It's more humid. The more south you go, the more humid it's going to get, though.
I like humid. I like Florida. I like humid. It's pretty chill. But no, I can see where you're coming from, dude. And you know what? I've been trying to put myself in your shoes, being like, because I'm not the type. Like, if it's like an Acolyte fan, where I'm like, oh, these people are deranged. But if it's someone who's like on the same,
at least he recognizes that
some sort of wavelength that I feel like I am. Like, you're not an Acolyte fan.
Damn it.
You know, you go to the Geeks and Gamers meetups. Jeremy has seen you in his group chats. You know, you like Ryan, you like Melvin. So I'm trying to think. I'm like, hey, what the fuck did I do or say that rubbed this guy the wrong way so much? He's got this like hate boner for me. So that's why I want.
Not really a hate boner, but the answer to that question is simple. The answer to the question is that Theory does not want Disney Star Wars to fail. In a nutshell, that's the answer. That's the reason.
To chat with you, and I feel like finally it's good. We're getting somewhere. So, okay. So the convention. You want me to? So there's a couple things here I want to discuss. So it's kind of like an issue I always have with a lot of the Disney fans is they're so goddamn pushy with what they want me to say on my channel. They're like, you should be talking about this. You have the power to say this and do that and change this, and I'm just like, dude, like, fuck off, you know? And I'm getting that sort of feeling from you, like you want me to talk about this. You want me, but the fact is that we're both fighting for the same thing, so it'd actually be in my interest. So what are some of the things that you want me to do on my channel? I'm open to hearing it.
Well, I think, like, for instance, when you take like almost a whole stream to poll your audience about doing a book review, right? An EU book review on like Plagueis, probably follow through with it. You know, and again, it's your channel. You don't have to. Like, I've polled my audience. Dude. I'm behind on shit.
See, I've never heard purists actually say, like, you need to make this type of content. You need to make that kind of content. As he's getting into here, it's like you say you're going to do certain things, but then you kind of, like, don't do it or you shy away with it. You say he did a video. If you guys recall, he did a video, Star Wars Theory did, called something along the lines of, I am done with Disney Star Wars. I am done with it. That was, about a year ago, Chad? Correct me if when did that video come out? He did a video called, like, I am done with Star Wars. I'm done with Disney Star Wars. And then we all saw it, and a lot of people were skeptical. A lot of people were like, all right, we'll see. And then he was faithful to that for a while. Shit on the Acolyte, shit on Outlaws, right? But that damn kids show came right back on board for that damn kid show, Skeleton Crew. So then we're all just sitting there like, you just did a video saying that you were going to do this. So it's a lot of false advertising, a lot of like big statements like I am done with Disney Star Wars, and not a lot of follow through. That's the big thing. That's the big thing here. Yes, and he did. He shit on it while playing it. Yes, that's true as well. He did play it on his channel. Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws? Oh!
We know how excited the Disney shills get about Star Wars Outlaws, you guys. We know. We know.
Too, but I'm also a one-man show, right? Like, you obviously have some assistants and whatnot, which is fine. You've earned your way to that.
Dude, I am a one-man show.
You get them hyped up. No, man. I mean, you got 10 channels, you got editors, you got ghostwriter, you got all that stuff. So
I got
writers.
editors, and
I know stupid ass calls them they're just writers, but they're ghostwriters because they're writing the video for you.
So let's discuss that, and then we can discuss the Chinese sabers and all that stuff too. So it will be a good stream.
Yeah.
All right. So the ghostwriters, I became.
Oh god, there goes the music in the background. Purist has music playing, like he has a lot of like the KOTOR themes. He had like Basta Lashan's theme playing in the background, and some of like the music in the background like goes perfectly with the way the conversation's going, and it's really, really funny. Sergeant Sodomy for $2. I know all about some hate boners. I have a feeling Sergeant Sodomy gives his hate boners to some people in the past. Be careful about Admiral Assfuck though. Look out for Admiral Assfuck, and Technical Sergeant Tittyfuck as well. Brandon the Awesome for $2. Shillington Crew, yeah, lots of people expose themselves with Shillington Crew.
Let's take it back. With all of the videos that I've done, I got to a point where, you know, I wasn't really happy talking about Disney Star Wars all the fucking time. You know, it's not going anywhere. They've fucked the brand, they've destroyed it, and they're taking it to a point where I don't want to be discussing Kathleen Kennedy every other day.
Except for Skeleton Crew. Except for Skeleton Crew. And probably except for Andor. Possibly except for Mandalorian and Grogu, and except for Ahsoka Season 2, possibly as well. But anyway, continue.
So the only way that I can change that is by making lore content. And so I was doing that for a long time. But, and as I know you like to poke a lot of jabs at, I also used to really love collecting sabers from other companies. And over time, my audience...
The music, you guys, is perfect. The music is perfect right now.
Collecting sabers from other companies. And over time, my audience was asking me, why don't you open your own brand? And I'm like, well, I don't want to be another Jake Paul. I don't want to be another guy just like slaps his name on some sort of thing and then just sells them and gets, you know, money because he's a YouTuber and that's it. So I spent time. I took years and years.
I hear Palpatine, the Sith theme, Palpatine's theme playing in the background.
Money because he's a YouTuber and that's it. So I spent time. I took years and years and years to find an actual manufacturer I liked, which you know of as TXQ. And then I made my company. And through that, I'm able to fund Vader, which is costing me $1 million. I don't have partners. I don't have investors. I don't have anything. I am literally a one-man show, and I've been a one-man show. I started on my iPhone, just like anybody else. I started by myself. And I still remain by myself. Nobody tells me what to make or what to do. So when it came to focusing all my time on this company to pay for Vader.
Keep an eye out for Star Triggers, you guys. Keep an eye out for Star Trigger blasters coming out. You may see something on that as soon as Friday for episode 3 of Star Triggered. Stay tuned for Star Triggers.
And all the other shit that I want to do after that. I didn't have as much time to make lore content. I didn't have the same patience and the same fucking want to sit there and do the shit that I did for so many years because it does take a long time. And like you said, with some of the books that I haven't read, I would have to do my research. I would have to go and find it. And you want to say like you read off Wikipedia? Yeah, for sure. Some
Wikipedia is easier. Yeah, I get it. The Cliff Notes version. I wasn't talking about investors. I was talking about editors, ghostwriters, and hosts for their other channels. Yeah. Yes, I remember. Yes, you said ghostwriters. Like, editors call them ghostwriters. Yes. So deflecting here.
of the ones I did, absolutely. But I would read off of it and quote it and then speak about it in my own words. Or take the rest of the information from another book or another source or whatever it might be and put it into my own understanding.
Like, to me, like, at the end of that's a shortcut at the end of the day. That's a shortcut at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm through Darth Bane books 1 and 2, and I feel like I know a lot more about those books than I would have reading the Wikipedia Cliff Notes version.
Make it into my own kind of content. And so, but you picked up on, he's reading this and that. So yeah, okay, sure. I mean, fuck. All right.
Like it was like 5 or 6 paragraphs at least per video.
Yeah, and that was probably like an older video, and I was probably just trying. It's not a highlight, but at the end of the day, I was still putting pictures to voice, and I was making music, putting music on it, and I was trying to make a nice piece of content.
Yeah, like
people.
YouTube definition, right? It's changed content.
Yeah,
like
literally. Yeah, YouTube,
fine.
like the older.
I'm old school. Like I said, I'm about 10 years older than you, so I'm about citing my sources. If I quote, like tonight we were reviewing a book, so I would say like Leia said, quote, blah blah blah, unquote, right? That's just the way that I am, right?
Yeah,
so
no,
like
I noticed
when I do my videos, like when I do Bane, like I don't like do like a generic.
Yeah, so yes, SWA. So yeah, he admits that, like, okay, yeah, I kind of fucked up on those videos. So he admits that. Okay, good. That's a step in the right direction.
Like, and then Bane was born in this year on, which, I mean, those are informative too, but I try to make it different where it's just me kind of talking about it like naturally and stuff, because it's more real. It's like really about the story and the way the story makes you feel versus just generically.
I don't think he sounds that old, if you ask me. I when I first heard Purist, I thought Purist was younger than I was when I first heard him speak, to be honest with you, but that's just me.
Reading like a script about a story you didn't read.
No, I mean, that's lifeless. That's robotic, and that's. I would always commentate after I would read the excerpt. I don't know if you ever made it that far. I'm sure you analyzed the shit out of the videos because you wanted to make your claims and stuff.
No, I'm honestly on your lore ones, man. I've only looked through about 15 of them. And
I like the little sneak diss there.
Read the excerpt. I don't know if you ever made it that far. I'm sure you analyzed the shit out of the videos because you wanted to make your claims and stuff.
No, I'm honestly on your lore ones, man. I've only looked through about 15 of them, and that's when I found a bunch of the plagiarism shit. But whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to cite sources or get why plagiarizing the wiki is bad. Yes, always try to cite your sources, or if you can't find it, just say that you're paraphrasing or whatever. Say it's just like give as much information as you can. That's just the easy way to do it. You don't even have to say anything. You don't have to say it in the video. You can just put a little text box in the corner of your video and say where it's from and everything. That's all you have to do. It's easy.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, like, yeah, I'm not happy about it, but at the same time, I felt like, okay, well, this is the bit of information because I didn't read the books through and through, then... Well, obviously this person knows, or Wikipedia would know better than I would in this case on certain characters. And like I said, I prided myself on the first 6 films, and I mean that's where the bulk of my videos come from. There's like 4,000 videos now, and they're mostly about Anakin and Vader in the first 6 movies and behind the scenes and blah 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 blah. But when it came to stuff I didn't know about, I didn't want to just talk out of my fucking ass and make shit up. I wanted to actually,
of course.
Right.
Grizzy's going to be doing a stream on. Last of Us 2. Well, I mean, I didn't play the game and I'm a normie on the show, so I'm like, well, I join you, bro, but I mean, I'm not an expert in that, so why would I pretend like I am? Like, that's just kind of normal.
Well, because it gets to the point where people are like,
I'm no Last of Us expert myself. I've played the first game. I boycotted the second game, and we're going to be covering season 2. I'm just gonna be going through it and just giving my honest to God thoughts of the show. But anyway, thanks for the shout out there, Purist.
I want you to do a video on this character and that character. And I'm like, all right. And then you kind of get to this point where it's like what you say, where the channel has grown to 3 million whatever subscribers. and it's not really like how it was in the beginning, where it's like
Yes, that is true, Melissa Lord. Yes, that is true. Like if you're doing a college paper or something and you don't cite your shit, that's a big no-no.
I have room for error. I have room to kind of do what I want or make mistakes. It's kind of now held to this corporate professional level where people are like, he's Star Wars Theory. His fucking shit don't stink. Everything got to be squeaky clean, and it's like it doesn't get fun anymore like that, where it's like I started talking about Star Wars and it turned into a career, but I never wanted to lose the aspect of the love that I have for what George made and how he changed my life, and I mean what we all enjoyed. So yeah, it's not a highlight, those those quotes that I read. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but at the same time I'm not like regretting it. It's just whatever. That the information is out there, and that's the information that's what I read, and I put it together in a video. So, anyways, then where were we with the company? It takes all my time. It takes all my fucking time. It takes all my time, my energy, my passion, and I feel like that's what I've really moved on to, and I enjoy it. And it's funding the film, and it's getting shit done. So, what I've done, since I don't have the same time I used to, I looked for different writers who know their shit. People like you who have read all of the lore. And I've given them different topics to write about. I say, look, I want a video on this, I want a video on that, I want a video on that. And then they'll write about it. And then while I'm reading it, which, I mean, shit, I probably have...
Goes the music picking up a bit here. I like it, chat. I like the music picking up.
To write about. I say, look, I want a video on this, I want a video on that, I want a video on that. And then they'll write about it. And then while I'm reading it, which, I mean, shit, I probably have maybe like 50 scripts at this point, 60 scripts, and I've graded maybe 10 or 15 of them. I just don't have the same interest in uploading lore at the moment. I feel like, to be real with you, I don't like the fact that I have a ghostwriter for them, because I never did for so many years. So it kind of bugs me in that sense. And after 4 years, I started to get an editor, because before that I was very controlling of my channel. I didn't want anyone else to edit my shit. So it bugged me. So fast forward, the company's growing now. This is after reviewing all the other company's sabers. And the movie's being funded, it's happening. And so I need people to still make content for me, because people want lore content, but I don't really have the time to sit there and make it. So that's where those guys come in.
I mean, the lore content, like, it's not getting as much views as the Acolyte, as the What's Going On Today shit. Like, we all know that's why it doesn't get the views like it used to, because Disney has killed Star Wars. Disney has killed it, and nobody cares about that stuff anymore. Back in the earlier days, back when he was just getting started in his heyday with the lore content, people were still excited and wanted to see Star Wars lore, Star Wars theories, no pun intended. But, that's just not the case anymore. What gets the views in 2025 is what yours truly and what us and the GKA are doing, and that is trashing Disney Star Wars and trashing those who support it. That's where it's all at right now.
But as far as the rest of the channel, with the direction I'm taking it,
that is true, Tobias Shield. That is 100% true. They hate him. The shills hate him, which is why it's so, like, it's so interesting to me to see him, like, try to cater to them. It's just interesting. Like, I'm not angry that he does it. I don't really care that he does it. It's just like, somebody hated me as much as, Disney and people hate him. I'd just be like, fuck these people. But apparently not.
I feel like I am actually making a difference in terms of showing people that Disney Star Wars is not George Lucas Star Wars.
Neither was Skeleton Crew, but it was fun though. It was fun though, right, chat?
You disagree with that?
Hang on, let me go back and get that full point again. All right, yeah. So I guess like they didn't talk a whole lot about like Disney Star Wars and Disney Star Wars needing to fail. 7 out of 10. didn't talk a whole lot about like Disney Star Wars and how it needs to fail and everything, which was probably like, I wish they would have gotten into that a little bit more. But it looks like we're about to get into that a little bit here, so I'm going to embrace it.
Feel like I am actually making a difference.
Like, if I were talking to Theory, that would be what I would want to talk about. I don't give a shit, really, about me personally. I don't give a shit, really, about Theoy Sabers. You know, if you want to make an Ahsoka, I'd rather he make money off of an Ahsoka Saber than Disney at the end of the day. Now, would I prefer the, Ahsoka's not canon, so fuck her approach? Abso-fucking-lutely. But, you know.
In terms of showing people that Disney Star Wars is not George Lucas Star Wars. Do you disagree with that?
Even though he said Dave Filoni Star Wars is close to George Lucas Star Wars, as close to George Lucas Star Wars as we're ever going to get. That's true as well. I think he tells Theory in this that he should fire Wave and Dash who? Dash who? Who's this Dash? I don't know who Dash is. Does anyone in chat know who Dash is? Dash who? Hashtag Dash who? That was my Dash got a Disney shill nickname last time on the stream. Oh, that was yesterday. Yes, on yesterday's stream. And it was funny. I wasn't even planning this. After we came up with the Dash who name, Theory was talking to, like, Purist put up a clip of Theory talking to Dash, and then he's like, did I meet you at this certain con that we went to? I don't even remember. Were you there? So I'm like, he's literally Dash who to Star Wars Theory as well, because he doesn't even remember meeting him for the first time. Oh, that was hilarious yesterday.
I mean, it's kind of hard, man, because then you
What's
tune
up,
in
Riker?
and
Yes, Dash who?
Skeleton Crew's pretty good. It hasn't done.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is what I really want to hear. New phone, who Dash? Dash who of Whoville? Exactly.
Star Wars. Do you disagree with that?
I mean, it's kind of hard, man, because then you tune in and you're saying that Skeleton Crew's pretty good. It hasn't done any lore destruction, but again, admitting that you didn't know, like, a lot of the EU, like, there's lots of retcons to the original expanded universe lore that occurred in that show. Everybody, just the narratives, it's a kid show, so it's okay. Goonies, like, you literally use all the talking points that the shills get when they get their scripts.
And that is 100% true. What Purist just said, that is what we did a compilation. Remember when we first started covering Skeleton Crew on the main channel? I played that compilation. I don't think I have it, unfortunately, anymore. I have all the shills, and then there's Theory saying the same exact thing. Oh, it's fun. It's Goonies. I went into it with somewhat low, manageable expectation. I managed my expectations, and I enjoyed it.
You know, when they're gift baskets, like, hey, it reminds me of Goonies. It reminds me of this. Makes you feel like a kid again. Look at Neil and laugh. Like, you were like on. Now you did it more tactfully. You spread it out to like a 30-minute video. The shows just go rattle them off within like 30 seconds. Yeah. But it was like, oh man, you're doing. Trust me, I'm ripping everyone on the Marvel side right now because everyone's like, oh, Daredevil's so good. Like, name one aspect of Daredevil Born Again that's better than the original Daredevil Netflix series. There is none.
I need to post that on Star Triggered. Everyone make sure you follow the Star Triggered X account. I'm going to post that clip on Star Triggered of the fucking real reject saying Neil Druckmann is George Lucas.
The fighting scenes are subpar, the writing subpar, the dialogue subpar. Like, there's not one thing. They got rid of the old characters, wrote them out of the story, and now they're using other characters. So it's the same thing. Like, I'm not discriminating. Like, I'm just going to go after Theory. I've gone after Echo Base Network with some of their disingenuous stuff and all that. And it's like, sure, they're.
I'm not watching that show either, Grandmaster. I'm not watching Daredevil Born Again at all. I just, it doesn't care. And apparently nobody else is watching the show either. The ratings are apparently lower than Agatha, which is very interesting. And like, I've been checking the views that the shills are getting and like their fake reactions and reviews and shit. Very, very low as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that does.
A bigger channel or whatever, but I mean, like I said, Grizzy, Melvin, they get more views than they do. So it's not like I'm grifting. I'm already streaming with people.
I don't think Theory even knows who I am, by the way. Just I've never spoken to him or interacted with him in any way, so I'm pretty sure that Star Wars Theory has no idea who I am. Maybe that's good for him. Maybe that's a good thing.
People that are more popular, so it's not a click grift thing. It's just, again, they rubbed me the wrong way because you had Coach over there agreeing with John Huey or whatever is a big fucking acolyte Disney shill to try to own on the EU not being canon or some shit like that. So it's like, oh, so
that is true. Maybe if I sent him his the Simple Theory Award.
I ain't got a good brain.
You make me happy.
That was Theory during Skeleton Crew.
So you're willing to denigrate yourself and like be all buddy with a shield just to give you a gotcha to the EU fans? Like, to me, that's disingenuous and shit. Like, most Disney shills, I don't associate with any of them, to be honest.
Later, backseater. Have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your dinner.
With you, I mean, if someone's in my audience and they want to watch Disney Star Wars, whatever. I'm not telling people to unsubscribe or not do this or do that, but at the same time, I'm not like you said earlier. Oh, well, that's what sex explains. Well, I mean, if they make a point and it happens to be a point that I make, that doesn't mean I'm siding with them or anything like that. But I would never like cite sex explained as a source just to kind of try to own somebody. Like, that's just beneath me, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't really care like who you stream with. I don't care with the amount of subs. One thing you don't know about me is I honestly do not give a shit about the size of someone's subs. I started at 0, and it has never gotten to my head, despite of what you want to think about me. I don't care about subs. It doesn't mean anything. There are people with tens of millions of subscribers out there, and they're still pieces of shit people. Then there's people who have 1,000 subs, and they're the kind of people I would hang out with all day. So subs mean nothing. It doesn't mean shit. At the end of the day, it's who you are as a person.
People need to start like spamming Simple Theory in the chat. They need to start spamming Simple Theory in his chat, and then see where that goes. Oh, look who's back, everyone. Darth Paws is back. What is up? What is up, Darth Paws? Good to see you. Good to see you back. Hope all is well, my dude.
Agreed. We can agree on that. Okay. So your Saber company and the fan film.
Yeah, let's get to it.
I mean, obviously it's a fan film because it's being made by somebody that doesn't own the IP. So technically, in definition, it's a fan film.
It is, yeah.
But, and this isn't out of context. You're priding
Nah, hit me with it, dude. Go for it.
Well, I'm trying to find the clip, but I fucking reorganized. It's like when you need to clean your desk and then you do, and then you can't find shit. That's kind of where we're at.
I like how the music chat, the music is picking up a little bit. We're about to get into the Theoy Sabers and everything. The music, the theme is picking up again. Like it. The funniest one was yesterday was when when Theory was speaking like really like soft and somber, and like the Bastila theme from KOTOR was playing. It was just like a depressing speech or something. Oh, it was really funny.
It's like when you need to clean your desk and then you do, and then you can't find shit. That's kind of where we're at.
I get you.
So here we go. So this is what you say about your family.
Yeah, keep an eye out on the background. I think that's coming. Is that coming now, Purist? All right, looking forward to it.
Film, and I obviously have an issue with it because, again, you're siding with me and you're against Disney Star Wars.
I have no idea. I would assume he can. Well, maybe not. I don't know. He doesn't have headphones on. He has to have some sort of headphone on. I'm not really sure. What's up, Darth Angel, man? Glad you could make it. Yes, he does notice. Okay, great.
And,
I assumed he probably did.
You want to show how it's not good, but then when you sell your sabers to fund your fan film,
right?
This is what you say about the fan.
They are industry professionals. They are working on a lot of the films that you've seen come out into blockbusters today, and Marvel, Star Wars, you name it, all of them. They are so gung ho to work on.
He didn't recognize it. That doesn't surprise me.
So, and I'll let you respond, but this would be like me being like, well, I'm going to show you by teaming up with Sexplained or something like that. Because you're like,
Right.
well, I'm going to show Disney how, you know, a Vader or a Vader fan film should be, but I'm going to hire people that worked on Disney Star Wars to show them.
Right.
It's just kind of odd.
All right, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, she made it. Hopefully she doesn't trigger anybody. OG Star Wars, what's up?
When do I not trigger someone? Really?
Maybe 1 or 2 days a week or something.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep track
Every
of
other
that,
day?
because, you know, every single day it seems like I trigger someone, no matter where I am or what show I hop on.
Get up in the morning, trigger. Go to bed at night, triggered. Can't get
Right.
away
I
from
can
it.
trigger people in my sleep too, so I'm that type of boogeyman.
All right. Well, have you been listening to what we've been listening to the past little bit? You know where we are? We're just getting into
I've
Theoy
been
Sabers.
listening.
Anything you have to say about, like, well, I guess he didn't really go into why he supported Skeleton Crew, or why he said that he's against Disney Star Wars, and yet there are examples of him supporting it, most recently Skeleton Crew, and I have a feeling with Mandalorian and Grogu, and I have a feeling with Ahsoka Season 2, and possibly some animated shit that's about to come out.
Yeah. I know we're leading into the Saber portion now, so yeah. So I hopped on as soon as I could and started listening, so yeah.
Good shit. Okay. John Gets Gaming earlier for $5. I'm a Last of Us Part 2 expert. Unfortunate. Oh, that is unfortunate. Sold it after getting platinum and will never pre-order a Neil Druckmann game again. Same with Spidey 2 and Insomniac. Yeah. I successfully boycotted The Last of Us Part 2. I was like, yep, nope. Absolutely the fuck not. And I got Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was a weird game for me. I played it like it was a fun game to play, but I absolutely hated the story. The gameplay was fine, but like I absolutely hated the story. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, let's get to Theoy Sabers. Chinese Bangkok Sabers.
Those are all VFX professionals that I was speaking of. Were you aware of that? Or did you think I meant writers?
I mean, I didn't know who it was, but the fact that they're attached to Disney Star Wars, I mean, I categorically reject Disney Star Wars and anyone affiliated with it.
Right, so I have guys that...
Including EU people that turn their backs on EU fans, you know, and they're flip-flopping on previous statements they made when they were working for Disney or for Star Wars under George Lucas. But then when they, like Pablo Hidalgo, Leland Chi, Timothy Zahn, right? Like, I love the Zahn novels, but he's a fucking traitor to the EU. He's like, oh, it's not this canon and that canon, it's the canon, like propping up Disney. Like,
well, he diluted Thrawn
you're
in those
traitor,
new novels.
you know?
Like crazy. It's not the same Thrawn from Heir to the Empire.
I mean,
it's not. Okay, so, you know, almost everybody, no matter who they are, probably has read the Thrawn trilogy. However, so I'm trying.
I haven't.
Okay, so I said almost everybody. You're like, not me. So
I think that's next.
Yeah, I think basically he hasn't read the EU, and I'm like, should I give him the benefit of the doubt? Because I'm like, how does he know how much Thrawn was changed between the real lore versus the Disney faux lore? That's the thing. So he's proven more than enough that he has either lied or has never read them and only researches. So he doesn't really know the full story. And you can't really do a comparison between characters that are shoved into the Disney lore versus the original character if you have not read it and experienced them. So, yeah. But that's just how I see that.
Only that, but what I'm saying is he used to, you know, he's on record talking about the expanded universe being canon. It was always canon. But then when he became a Disney writer, because obviously he doesn't want to bite the mouth that feeds, he flip-flopped and he's full of shit. So
yeah. Well, anyway, so about that clip that you showed, that was about all the VFX artists that I have. So the first one did not have really like big-time industry professionals. It had mostly like college students or, you know, major fans of Star Wars that were very proficient in VFX. Whereas in this one, one of the reasons that it is so expensive. And it
How long ago did that come out? The Theory fan, wasn't that like 4 or 5 years ago now?
I think so.
It was a
I
very
think
long,
so.
very long. I'm honestly surprised he stuck with making the second one. Is he play? I don't think he's planning a third one, is he? Do you know?
Probably if anything, if he feels this one's successful, I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I thought
I'm
I heard him
surprised.
say somewhere I am done with fan films after this. I thought
Yeah.
I heard him say that, but maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, but
Maybe
he's
someone in the
saving
chat knows.
Star Wars. He's saving Star Wars with his fan film. So why is he giving up on it then? Remember he said that last when we reviewed the first half of this or the first portion of this, and he's like, "Oh, I'm making these fan films for people." Or maybe, yeah. Anyways, he does say that, but let's go ahead, go on.
the whole thing is is CGI made with VFX. Is that we are using industry professionals. So we're using people that work at Lucasfilm, people that have worked on a lot of the Disney movies, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that in the sense that Disney has obviously a ludicrous budget for their films, meaning they want it to look as good as possible, at least in their minds. Meaning that I have those guys.
The music going good again. Love to see
I
that.
know. Yeah.
I have the world's most expensive. I have the world's best, the world's most proficient when it comes to making shit look good.
That was a big miss, I'm gonna say, by Purist, not asking him how he paid fake Padme or what fake Padme did to land that position as Padme in his fan film. That was a little bit of I'm gonna say it, Purist. I apologize, but that was I would have loved to have loved for you to question him on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. But the thing with fan films, like, and there are ones that look good. Like if you've seen Wingman, that's a really nice one, dude, with a good story, with some good effects and whatnot. But the end of the day,
action?
Yeah, it's the live action one. It's about 45 minutes long. It came out I got pretty good views on it, but I didn't get a lot of watch time because I was directing people to the actual channel to watch the whole thing. I covered it on a live like 2 or 3 months into my channel. But it's by somebody's basement, I can't remember what it's called, but it's really good, dude. But anyways, like that's high quality and all that, but you could feel like the love and the passion and all that. And I think like when you overproduce it and stuff, it feels like it starts to water down. Like Everest, right? Everest is doing a great job with Plagueis. You can definitely tell the production value from episode 1 to episode 2. At the end of the day, no one's going to give him an award for the nicest looking fan film ever. But what the creativity of using that engine that he used from Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and I believe that's the engine that he's using on it, right? And then
I just want to say real quick, it's nice to watch a video on the channel and not have to worry about someone copyright striking me. Like every other time I'm like, okay, usually about 10-15 seconds through the show. That's why I chop it up so much. Just get to get to the highlights or the lowlights. So, but like, yeah, like this, yes.
Yeah, Pierce is LOL right
Pierce
there.
is Pierce about to nuke the channel if he wanted.
He's like, I'll show you. I'll stick it to you, man.
And then the creativity and then how he kind of changes the story a tiny bit, but to where it's in line with the actual Plagueis novel and he highlights different parts of it. Like that's really great. He has original voice actors instead of cut and pasting the
it was one
audiobook voice author and all that. Yeah, I know. You forgot who you were. I think Mrs. Dash said you were Tenebris, and you're like,
he forgot who he was.
I was laughing at Mrs. Dash.
Yeah, I know, but still, I'm laughing at it all. It's like, he's like Mrs. Dash, and he's like, you forgot who you were, and I'm like, this guy, I don't know. I mean,
Mrs. Dash, not defending his co-host, man. Come on.
And then he doesn't even remember them.
Yeah, he does. Dash who?
Person.
Dash
he doesn't
who?
remember any of like things he's done in the past. He forgets about making his review or quick review video on The Last Jedi. So there's a problem going on here. It's like memory loss or some kind of, I don't know, mental.
I don't blame him on forgetting who Dash is. I do not blame him on that. That is perfectly normal, sane behavior. I don't blame that at all. Yeah, I'm gonna we'll have to do a thumbnail of like Dash down in Whoville and then like the Grinch with that evil smile, the cartoon Grinch with the evil smile wearing a star triggered t-shirt.
There
Like,
you
I think
go.
that'd be a perfect idea. I was thinking about that today. Like, perfect idea for a
Oh,
thumbnail.
that's amazing. Okay.
You know, the
Yeah, it was one of them.
audiobook voice author and all that. Yeah, I know. You forgot. You forgot who you were. I think Mrs. Dash said you were Tenebrous, and you're like, yeah, Tenebrous, but you were venomous.
That was
But
venomous,
whatever.
yeah.
Potato, potato.
Yeah.
But
And by the way, chat, Dash is like in the chat going crazy. I don't think. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't. No, this is just a video, so I wouldn't have the chat history, unfortunately. I think Pierce puts a couple of them up. But yeah, a Dash was like Who was in the chat, like just like going nuts. I'm sure half of the people there didn't know who he was, but yeah, he was
defending
in there like
Theory, but Theory never defended him.
yeah, defending Theory, but Theory never defended him. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He sure did.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You know how it is
I
on stream.
I
Sometimes
find those to be like more like passionate, you know, like. And then also, I don't know if you. I mean, I'm assuming.
I think Dash is gonna have something to say to Purist whenever Purist shows up on Rule of 3. Coming hopefully soon. The invitation was extended.
Yep.
We'll see. Might get a little bit. Might have an interesting little confrontation there. I'd like to see it.
Here comes the
Because
plagiarism.
this was back in the day when you were plagiarizing the Wikipedia stuff too a little bit. But when you made Vader fan film episode 1, you do realize like you took direct lines from Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader, and like I think those you shuffled the words up a little bit, but you literally. Did you quote them or cite those? I don't know because I didn't watch your the whole thing.
From the fan film?
Video. Yeah.
No.
So you didn't put that you'd got like the dialogue or anything?
No, dude. So what? You're born 1980?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so I'm 1990. So you're still using that Dewey Decimal System, dude. You're like full on about like every single quotation. Everything's got to be quoted.
I mean, you used to do it. You used to say, "Hey, the thumbnail was made by this person" or whatever. Like that was all.
Yeah. So I do that, and then whenever.
Yeah, like you should have just put something in the description. Put a link in the description, or put something in the description of the video. Yeah, 'cause I could understand not putting something in like a fan film, which is supposed to be very immersive. But he admits he didn't do that. So yeah.
Like that Jaina, that Legacy of the Force, Invincible, the last fight with Jaina and her brother Darth Caedus. That specifically, like even in the title, it tells you where it's inspired by and stuff like that. And that's what you do. So even if you don't put it as your title or anything like that, you say based upon or based by. And then, name the novel, who the novel is and stuff like that. So you still give credit where credit is fucking due.
So. Yep.
Back on all your old videos because you have Theoy Saber ads and go to theoysabers.com on all your old videos too. So, I mean, it's not like you're beyond going back to old videos and editing or changing them. Or
absolutely. I got it and everything. Yeah, I want to grow my brand. I love my brand. And I think we're doing a lot of very good stuff with the brand, and I think we're saving the actual Saber community from everybody else, or at least most people. I could say legally. When I used to buy from the,
he's saving the Sabers
from a lot of the other companies. I mean, the absolute. You want content? The absolute shit I could tell you about.
How much do those things cost?
You know what? I really didn't look fully into it, but I know people are saying that they're expensive and stuff. Compared to even other companies and other brands by other people. So
you want to get into scamming? I mean, it's that's. I'll be careful what I say here.
Well, I know stupid ass Wave used to do fake lightsaber.
Either of don't be careful what you say here.
If I was in a stream and people started insulting you or Darth Melvin or Purist or United Space, or I would say something.
Yeah.
I would say I'd say I'd maybe like try to keep it cool, but I'd be like those are my friends, those are my friends, right? Like come on, but I guess Dash is. I'm sure Wave was in the chat too, just not saying anything. But yeah, Dash was down there anyway talking shit. So Dash was in there. I don't blame him for talking shit.
What I say here.
Well, I know stupid ass Wave used to do fake lightsaber giveaways. I think that's
no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the lightsaber community. I'm talking about people who just literally resell. And I know it's easy for you to say, oh, he resells you really don't know the amount that goes into what we do and the people who actually resell and literally scam audiences. I was
well, there's no. I know you're friends with Sam Kim, so I know you have access to his.
I'm not talking. Oh no, 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 dude. I'm not talking about stuff. I'm not talking about the fucking music that we put in there. I could maybe.
He puts music in it. I don't know anything about his sabers. I just like.
I'm looking it up right now.
I just do not give a shit.
Well,
to
that's
be perfectly
me.
honest with you, but he puts music. He puts music in them. Okay, that's
for the experience because everybody wants to have the background music or whatever.
It jacks the price up too. Yeah.
So like I'm looking at the one because recently there was a clip shared of him selling a cross guard. So basically Kylo Ren saber to someone at the they're at today or this weekend or whatever. And so there's a video of him selling basically Kylo Ren saber and stuff like that. And I guess he puts the sound effects in there. And I guess
I've heard of that.
The sound effects in there,
like
music
in other ones,
is something. Yeah, music is something too. And I don't know what else, but yeah. Yeah.
Theory's new sabers vibrate. There you go.
Tell you one day, like off stream and or like even in person when I move to Texas or whatever, if you ever come out to a convention or we just fucking actually end up hanging out or something or whatever, Geeks and Gamers meetup or something, I would tell you off the record, but I don't want to be caught saying that shit.
That's fine.
Live or recording because other companies could potentially say some shit or make it legal. I don't want to deal with that. But there's a lot that I know now about the industry that I never knew as a consumer, and I just know that we're treating a lot of people really fairly, despite what you want to believe.
Well, I mean, again, I think you guys kind of promoted it as like Theoy Sabers is making their own sabers and stuff like that. And I know originally you would cite like on some of your sabers, and a lot of this was brought to me. Like, again, I know you think I'm like in there with a fine-tooth comb on your channel, but obviously I have an audience too.
Oh,
so like,
it's okay if you are.
Your audience is like, look at what Purist said today about you on Twitter, right? Like,
no, they actually don't, man. No, I just sometimes go through my notifications and I see a Purist. Sometimes like saying stuff and I'm just like, what? Why? So anyways, but no, dude, like I'm here for you to literally anything that you like want to say or have doubts about or fucking accuse me of or think I'm this and that. Yeah, hit me with it. I'm here for it, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the TXQ sabers, like originally you didn't really announce that they were TXQ and it would be like on one or two of them. And then it seems like after that kind of got out, then you started saying, oh, and we're teamed up with TXQ and da-da-da-da. And I realize now, obviously, if you made a Roger Christian lightsaber and obviously they don't have access to him and you do, then that may be something that's actually something that's created by Theoy Sabers or something like that. But to that, at this point, that hasn't happened, right? I mean, at this point, it's just modifications made on TXQ sabers that you're reselling and marketing. And then people are like, well, he always does sales. Well, TXQ does sales all the time. That's probably why when you buy in bulk from them, right? When they have their sales instead of, or you have a deal because you're getting shitloads of them anyways.
No, not at all. It's not how it works. So, what was the first question about Roger?
It wasn't a question. I was just saying, like, obviously,
is that Knights of the Fallen Empire playing in the background?
I think so. Yeah, I think
so. Nice. That's a good one. That was nice to hear that one.
If you bring him into the deal or something like, hey, I'm friends with da-da-da-da, he's the first one who ever created a lightsaber, they could use that as a pro for them, right? To make their own, authentic lightsaber that he designed or whatever. Like,
no, Roger and I work together exclusively. So TXQ is the manufacturer, and that's what took me so many years to actually find a relationship with. Because look, obviously having the following I have, you know how many lightsaber companies have hit me up over the years to work with them and even have signing bonuses to I mean, that's like they're a manufacturer's dream, right? The biggest Star Wars channel in the world to be pushing their lightsabers.
I wonder.
I didn't want to do that.
I wonder if these companies that manufacture these lightsabers wanted him to be an ambassador more or less than anything else because of his big channel.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. because unless he was reaching out to them to produce his own and having them be basically the brand that he works through for his sabers or whatever, the manufacturer, I don't see how these people would be asking him to use them to build his own sabers. I see it more or less as an ambassador because of the size of his channel.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially, yeah. Was it like 3.6 million subs or something like that?
Yeah.
I was given big money. I was offered big money. I never took it. I never signed. I never nothing. Because it's just not what I want my brand name to represent. And also, at the end of the day, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I've always been a Star Wars fan. And I don't want to be able to fucking scam people. It's just not what I'm about. First of all, even if that's what I was all about money, I'm not stupid enough to forget the fact that if you do, there will never be a repeating customer. Your shit has to be very good for people to come back or to talk about it. Word of mouth. I mean, you think you're the only guy that can say shit about me? There can be, if my shit was that horrible, there would be people with big ass accounts being like, this guy is scamming his audience. I mean, look what happens to Logan Paul with all of his whatever Bitcoin or whatever the shit he does with his what's that crypto shit?
I'm not sure which one he's affiliated.
Meme coins or whatever. Whatever. That stuff.
So basically, sorry. He is basically talking shit about his competitors right here. My shit is better. Theirs is shit. That's why he's playing this game right now of making sure that he upsells himself here. And everybody else that is in the market, the same market, is worse. And that the reason why theirs are better because they're putting more time and effort, but those other companies never have.
And there's the banner, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't follow like Theoy Sabers. I don't follow any sort of saber company at all. I just don't give a shit about or anything. And yeah, so this is like he's talking these names of these even some I've heard of THQ, like even like some of these companies, like I have no idea. So yeah, glad you're here.
What'd you do?
I just changed the background because I've had that one up all night.
Oh, okay.
We know what you were doing, Purist. We know what I see that USA down there, man.
Right.
I see that. I see it.
Yeah, anyways, I'm getting derailed here. But yeah, no, me and Roger worked together, and then I was looking for a manufacturer that made shit the way that I would want, and someone that would work with me, not just have me slap my brand on it and like promote their sabers, essentially, as if it's my brand, kind of like what Logan does with Prime. If you didn't know, that's not his actual fucking brand. He's just an ambassador, essentially. He just puts his whole brand on it as if it's him. But it's not. Somebody else basically...
That's what they needed to do. That's the thing. That's what they reached out
yeah, and so I want...
No, I'm just commenting on that. That's what, basically, when they reached out to him, that's what they wanted him to be as an ambassador, just to put his label on there because of his channel size. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you a bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly.
A company that I would manufacture that I would work with that literally would take as much care as I would without having to fork up all of the massive fees of having my own manufacturing plant and factory in either Canada or America. But that is the goal, and that is what we're scaling up to. But obviously that takes time and money. And, I mean, I'm not Mr. Beast. You know, I don't have PewDiePie numbers. I'm doing all of this to not only grow the brand, but also to pay for the fan film. So all of that takes time. And having been here for 9 years, I know that shit doesn't happen in a day. So where I see Theoy Sabers, 2-3 years from now...
OG Star Wars, you want to tell everybody what you just told me in the private chat? That's hilarious.
Which one?
What you just told me in the private chat.
About
5 minutes ago. I just saw it.
Oh, okay.
The school.
The school. Oh yeah, that one there. I'm sorry. So basically, on his website, he has a Saber school. So you could go in and watch videos him to do 9-point Saber duel tutorial for beginner and intermediate, and then and also how to do reverse grip advanced, and how to perform figure 8. So you could go on there. Theory Sabers and duel correctly, I guess. There you go.
Nice, nice. So basically, Carly King 2.0. I didn't forget.
Which we're moving very quickly on, is not out of the scope of possibility, but it's not something that could happen right away. As for your claims about me saying I never talked about TXQ, in the beginning, I was only making exclusive one-off sabers that I would modify. So I worked a couple times with LGT, did not like their sabers. So I saw in your video that you made about me, you compared my shit to LGT sabers, and like, I don't know if you've ever had any of these sabers, but LGT is
Well, you had some that were, that's why. Because again,
yeah, so right in the beginning when I didn't know much about the industry, I worked with them.
You notice the title, I put TXQ. I didn't say LGT. It just happened.
No, I know, but in the video there were a couple before, and I saw it, you know.
Interesting, purist.
When you released it, and then you took something out because you compared me to some other company or whatever. And
well, one of the Google searches on LGT was incorrect, and it was somebody who does lightsaber modifications, and he was fucking pissed off. But I corrected it. I corrected it within an hour, and I replaced it.
Yeah. I know. I'm aware, dude. I see it. So we would send the sabers that we would buy. We would, like, our first one we sold 30, and then our second one it was like 50 or something like that. And they were just one-off.
That's what I thought he was going to say for a second. We have LGBTQ plus sabers. There you go. It's like half saber, half like freaking dildo on the other end. There you go. You can see fucking Disney freaks loving that.
Offs. So what we would do is we would have a saber made according to how we wanted it by the manufacturer. Then we would send it to one of our guys in the States. So one of the guys is Starlight. He would modify the shit out of it. And with the first one, he created this cool acid finish. We put a wrap on it, and it was a different look. It had a lot of weathering, and it just kind of looked like how we wanted it to go. So that's how we started, is that it wasn't supposed to be like we're reselling stuff. Because a lot of my audience, when I was reviewing other people's... What are they saying? When I was reviewing
John said, please, Theory.
I was just thinking, I was just like, oh god, was John got in on it. Please, one book at a time, gatekeeping.
and then Pierce, I don't know if you highlighted because I was still looking at his Saber School stuff that he has going on in there. But Star Wars Marvel Purist basically said he was pissed because he didn't want to be associated with the snake oil salesman. The lightsaber guy's words, not mine. So that's who Star Wars Theory is to that person, snake oil salesman. So,
A little history there, huh?
There's a little history there.
Theory, one book at a time. Gatekeeping is fun.
Right.
Because gatekeeping gets a bad name. We should have gatekept Star Wars from the get-go. Then maybe we wouldn't be in this fucking mess.
Well, maybe. Where the fuck was I?
Sorry, I'm not trying to distract you.
No, I know. It's just been a long-ass day. My brain's fried.
I know, man. I've been streaming for 5 hours now. I got it. I
know. I had mine with the boys, and then before that, anyways. Yeah, so
doesn't even remember their names. Didn't even remember Dash Who's name. The boys. Yeah.
Look, we started out to do like a one-off thing, like a unique thing. And people were like, well, we want you to sell some of the stuff that, you're reviewing in videos. And they'll be like, Corbin's Qui-Gon or Anakin, wherever. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do the same shit everybody does. And so it took me from 2019 until about a year ago to start my own company because I was in search of that. And I mean, in the videos, like in 2020, I announced that I wanted to make a company called Theory Sabers. And dude, I was hit up.
I'm telling you, Star Triggers is going to give Theory Sabers a run for their money.
With so many different manufacturers saying work with us. And I was like, no, I don't like, we're not doing this. Until I found...
I don't think any of those companies are going to be beating down our doors wanting us to endorse them.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Ones that I wanted. Now TXQ,
They're too
I'm gonna go
toxic.
visit them at the factory this year. I know everything that goes on over there with our products. I have guys that inspect I didn't want to just be another dude that slaps on his logo on a Saber company and sells it. There's no quality control. I don't know what's going on over there if that's the case. And the product won't be up to my standards, which means we won't get returning customers. So it's like that business will fucking die. You'll make a few sales in the beginning and that's it. You'll never live to see year 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. And I want to live to see year 10 or 20. And I want to be the number one. I want to offer the most and the best. And we're on our way to do that. But, it takes time to scale a business. And it takes time to make things as the way you want them. It doesn't happen right
So he's saying, basically, again, he's like trying to prop himself up against the other manufacturers or even people who are asked to be the ambassadors to their product, saying that people who buy the other people's products, ambassador or not, are not going to be able to have true customer service. So if something happens, they're not going to get the quality or the exchange or anything like this. So he's propping himself up, saying that he's doing the homework. All these other companies or manufacturers don't do the homework, and so you don't get the quality that I'm going to give you. So he's selling himself up right now. That's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question about the Sabers or?
Yeah, I mean, what constitutes like the price gouging? Because again, I don't have a problem with you making money, right? I believe in capitalism.
Well, someone's got to pay for that $1 million film, but the price gouging.
Boom,
I know
right
that's
right there, right there.
I think this is where I woke up and tuned. I think it was right about here because I remember him saying that. So okay, so I think I'm getting into the part that I caught.
Something I also sorry, go ahead.
I said at your audience's expense. Because some of them are identicals, right? I mean, obviously we know about sound fonts and stuff like that, but a lot of people can program their own sound fonts after they buy the Saber, right?
You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't know how to do that. But
that's true. That's fair. But I'm saying if they wanted to, they could avoid that cost. And if it was cheaper, then obviously. And again, I don't have a problem with you making money per se, but it's like a lot of people in my comments have been like, hey, I actually went to TXQ directly, got pretty much the same Saber, and was able to add my sound fonts and all that. And I saved myself fucking $150 or something like that. So, I mean, that's kind of why I made the video.
Yeah, so that's...
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see.
It's not to hurt your business, but it's to let other people know that
it doesn't hurt the business, man.
There's an actual manufacturer that you can get it from directly.
Absolutely, but I mean that's like saying you could go to Nike's manufacturer who also makes Reebok and New Balance and buy directly from them, but you're not going to get the brand. You're not going to get all of the exclusives that Nike's comes with. You're not going to get any of the customer service. Some shit goes wrong with your shoes, let's say. You take it back to a Nike, they're going to...
So you could go to the actual source, but then you're not going to get the brand or the quality. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Really. It doesn't.
I'm going to shout you out on my YouTube channel for buying one, baby. That's worth $150.
Oh my God.
I'm going to refund you. If some shit goes wrong with anywhere else you buy it from, I've had my experience with that, and it's been shit. That's why I pay my guys very well, and they were full-time supporting their families, and they're all in the Saber industry. It's not just random dudes that are found off the street or illegals. These are guys that have been in the Saber industry.
That'd be funny. He has illegals working on the
I know, and the thing is, okay, so the Saber industry, how the fuck big is that? How big is that, anyways? So he hired people that probably made their own sabers, and customized their own sabers. But there's no such thing as a Saber industry. I'm sorry, there's not.
Industry for years and years. They know what they're talking about. So with our stuff, not only do they get the best price on the market, they get the most installed in the...
Well, apparently not the best price on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Saber. And in terms of, you want to talk about sound fonts that they could install themselves, each sound font is $10 on Kyberphonics' website. He is, in my opinion, the best in the market when it comes to that. The guy is a literal...
Kyberphonics, they promote all their packages are like the Acolyte and all this shit that you claim to hate, but yet they're promoting all that Disney shit on their resale. There's no sound font places that just have regular, like, I mean, also like a lot of the hilts you have are like Disney Star Wars, but you claim that half your audience isn't Disney Star Wars, and actually all the Disney Star Wars fans don't like you.
Well,
but if that was the case, wouldn't you have no Ahsoka sabers, no freaking White Wolf sabers, no Shin Baddie sabers? Like, why would you need to have those if all of your audience wasn't Disney Star Wars, or some of your audience wasn't Disney Star Wars fans? Like, why would you feel the urge to slang Disney Star Wars lightsabers when you're not for Disney Star Wars?
Well, I'm not for Disney Star Wars, but we are still offering sabers, and we're offering them at the best price and putting the most in them. And we have actual customer support that gives a shit if something goes wrong or someone doesn't know how to do something. That's why we're paying so much money every month to our customer support guys, which are all guys located in the States.
But again, why sell a Rey or a Kylo Ren saber? Like, if you're not for Disney Star Wars,
I'm here to sell sabers, dude. If someone wants a Rey saber,
but I thought you're
I got
fighting for George Lucas. Like,
George Absolutely,
Lucas
I am.
Great Kylo Ren.
Absolutely, I am.
Saber. It just seems kind of hypocritical. Like, I mean, again, it's your business. Hypocritical. Got to do it. Like, I would never sell a Disney Star Wars lightsaber. I'm obviously not in the lightsaber business, but if I was,
no, you're not.
I would definitely not make it a point to sell Disney Star Wars character lightsabers.
Cool. Well, we sell a lot of other character replicas. Why don't you talk about those? But it seems like you only talk about the few. And I've been offered to sell.
I think you have more Disney Star Wars characters than you have EU ones, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. I know there's lots of movie lightsabers. Yeah.
Well, we're working on increasing that roster to a lot of the EU replicas, but you know, it is expensive. Every saber that I make and adding it to the the roster is quite expensive to make, dude.
And again, I'm not going to tell you you're obviously more successful when it comes to the business side of YouTube and stuff, but if majority of your audience isn't made up of Disney customers and a majority of your audience is into George Lucas, Star Wars, or the expanded universe, or Legends, if you want to call it that, then wouldn't you have made all the expanded universe lightsabers first and not the Disney ones? Because
well, like I just said,
fan base doesn't consist of Disney fans.
Like, dude, you're expecting me to have like my own TXQ in my garage with like every single saber replica? No, that's impossible.
So it's just based off their inventory. They don't have any EU characters in their inventory.
Oh yeah, they do have a lot of EU characters, but there's different catalogs that you can offer. And
so he chooses the Disney Star Wars catalog.
LGT has a
yeah, because like the Acolyte. I'm sure, like when the Acolyte did he say he didn't do? Did he do Acolytes, or he said he didn't do it? I'm not sure. He said he didn't do. He said he didn't do. He said he didn't do Acolyte, but he's done Kylo, Rey. And some of these others,
Kylo, Rey, some of those others.
Ahsoka, I think when Ahsoka came out, he was really hitting the Ahsoka because he liked it at first. He was really hitting the Ahsoka, the Shin, and the Balin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he does have, because I'm looking at his website. Let me see. Let me go to the front cover here, the front page. So choose your path, prequels, originals, and legends, basically, and then bundles, accessories. So let me see what's in the legends. The legends. He's got the Deceived, the Butcher bundle. That's a bundle. Dark Ruler. So basically, Katarn, Satil, Depa.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. Yeah.
How long does this go about the sabers?
I don't know. It's I think we're getting to the main point of like, why are you selling these sabers and saying you're why you're selling Disney Star Wars sabers, but saying that you're protecting George Lucas's legacy. Okay. So why are you being a hypocrite? Yeah.
Okay.
A very vast.
I won't, Purist. Don't worry.
Inspired catalog that I just don't work with.
Reach the halfway point though. Good job. Good shit. I think we will. I was hoping we could finish it tonight. I didn't want to go into it. I want to have to do a part 3 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I can see the point you're trying to make, and it's that like, oh, I'm
trying to make it. I am making it. I mean, it's not that I'm trying to make it. It is. I mean,
yeah, the point is, you claim to not support Disney Star Wars, but you're selling their merch. Okay.
Yeah.
if you had the choice,
Well, no,
of a
you're
Revan
trying
saber,
to
a Malgus
essentially.
saber, a Nihilist saber, but instead you chose a Kylo Ren saber, a Shin Batty saber, and a Balin whatever saber. I don't even know his name. Then
Well, you just said
like
it is.
Yeah, it's Balin. I can't remember his last name. Whatever. I wasn't a big Ahsoka watcher, but like why would you choose those ones over the again the Darth Nihilus and the Darth Revan and the Darth Zana, saber or whatever. Again, I don't know what they have, but if they have an inventory of EU sabers, why weren't those frontlined? If you're more about George Lucas Star Wars and your fan base is more than that, I think it would make you more money as a business if you were hitting your target audience, which is the non-Disney shill audience.
Right. So as I said, it's part of the catalog. Those ones that you're mentioning aren't part of it yet.
Yeah, but he chose a catalog that has Disney Star Wars in there. And like I said, there's a recent video showing or having it one of the customers from the convention saying, "Thank you for my Kylo Ren saber." Yeah.
Okay.
Like
so
they're part of the
package,
TXQ.
You have to buy it in bulk in a group package from them.
Well, no, it's way more than that. You got to pay the designer, you got to pay the engineer, you got to pay the mold, you got to pay. Like there's a lot of cost that goes into making like a Roger Christian, for example. There is a shit ton of cost, tens and tens and tens of thousands.
Pause it here real quick.
To make
Okay.
So he's not manufacturing sabers himself. He's ordering them through the catalog as a bundle through THX or whoever that manufacturer is. So basically all that paying for mold and all that stuff is already it's already taken care for in your fees in probably the bundle that you're going to purchase to resell. So unless he is making those molds himself in his own house with his hired people and stuff like that, then that's where that would apply. But he just admitted that he buys these bundles to sell, and that in the bundle he bought it really has no legends in there, but it has Disney Star Wars, and that's the bundle he chose to buy to sell. So
Yep.
just the mold, just one. And then you want to make a bunch more of those, obviously for customers to buy. To do that is very expensive, and with making a fan film that's $1 million, I just do not have that budget. So I can't be making, I would love to, and that's the goal, but it takes time, man. So, you and I have this chat 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh shit, okay, he's got.
Oh shit.
Legends.
All of them. But that's not the case at the moment.
Well, we'll look at your career with great interest in 5 years and see where it's at. But the a lot of the hilts though, they're the same hilts that every other TXQ reseller has. They're like literally the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what modifications are you talking about that you make to them?
Well, everything that we install. Everything we install inside of the hilt. So again, back to Kyberphonic. Each one of those is $10. So let's say in our Mark 1, which is free, there's 23 in there, so that's $230 before tax. Not even including tax, put into the Saber for free. Mm-hmm. That's literally like a Saber itself. And nobody else is doing that.
Okay, so pause here real quick. Music. Okay. So he buys the hilts and they open them up and they attach all like the sound effects, the fonts and stuff that needs to be in there. That's all they do. So he's not really creating the hilts by himself. So he doesn't really need molds. That's already done before they purchase them, basically.
He said it wasn't the sound fonts and music that made them different. He now says that is the difference. Okay. So it's just word salad.
Whatever shitty font is in there. And I know because I used to spend a lot of money on these other companies' Sabers. And I'd get their stuff. And I thought it was really cool until I started to really realize and become friends with Jesse to know like what actually goes into making these sound fonts that are actually so much fucking better and actually increase the experience. And so I started to install my own fonts with Jesse. The first time I did it took me 5 hours. And with Arduino. This is a program that you use to install the fonts into a Profi board. And it took a long time, and once I did it and I fired it up, I'm like, this is actually a game changer for the Saber itself. I'm like, why is nobody else doing this? They're just using these generic, shitty ass, cheap fonts. And the reason is because it's cheap. And then they mark up the Saber so much higher, they're making much more of a profit. Our profit is the lowest compared to any other company out there because
okay, now I definitely remember him saying this. I remember tuning in, hearing this.
We put so much in there. Yet you want to say that we make the most and we jack up the prices. I don't make shit. We make enough of a profit to pay for the team, to pay for all the stuff that we put in there, and to pay for the fan film.
No, I mean, that means you have a profit then, because how else are you paying for an expensive fan film with Disney and Marvel effects people? I mean, obviously that probably costs a pretty penny. So you can't say that you're not making shit. You're just redirecting your profits towards what you want to redirect it to. So
I'm not making shit myself. I'm not making shit myself.
But you're making a lot of money. Like you said, you're able to pay for the whole operation and fund what is it, $1 million?
Did you ever see how much some of those cost when you were on the site?
Oh, the Sabers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are looking at from like 230 to 500 and something.
Okay.
Fan film?
$1 million fan film. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. That's how business works. You make a product that people find value in, and you make it good, and that's it. You just keep building on that, and you make better products.
But again, the only difference is you're reselling them, but you're putting more in on the sound fonts, and whatever you're getting charged on the sound fonts. But a lot of people could modify those sound fonts on their own if they wanted to, and that's why I think
each one's going to cost them 10.
That's a good question. Because of the tariffs, maybe
$10 at least, and then they're going to have to sit there and try and figure out how to do it.
He said he's moving to Texas.
Yeah, Tejas.
Gotta be.
Oh, the Tejas.
Tejas, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do it. But for those who know how to do it, it's still going to cost them money for each sound font that they want. But with our stuff, it's...
John Getz, you going to meet Theory this weekend in Cleveland? I mean, I theoretically could. I'd have to take off work, but I could. That's like 2 hours from me.
Already in there, unless they choose a different font pack, which, again, costs us a lot of money, as well as the music that goes in there. Each one costs me about $1,000, which you probably have heard before. So I assume you've watched the videos. So... any other question you have, I'm happy to answer.
I mean, I think I can jump off the light.
No. Another thing I want to mention is when I used to buy from everybody else, I know the margins, and I mean, obviously you have to in order to run a business, so you don't go belly up. So I know exactly what is going on in the industry with all of the other companies, and when I see that you're picking on me. And I'm the only one that's literally using it.
You're picking on me. Oh, I need the Kyle, South Park, Kyle, cousin Kyle. Like, and you're picking on me. I would have phrased that differently. That was pretty funny. Pierce, you might want to clip that.
When I see that you're picking on me.
That's perfect.
And I'm the only one that's literally using the money to give back to the community with a fan film that's not mine.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I told you, I've talked about this. So basically, and Pierce does mention a lot more after this, but he is like, oh, I'm saving Star Wars. I'm using my Sabers to fund a fan film so we could save Star Wars to give everybody something they want. And I'm like, who in the fuck wants this from you? And how is this going to save Star Wars? And so he really thinks that he is saving Star Wars with this fan film. And he really thinks that, that saving George Lucas's legacy through selling those sabers along with Disney Star Wars product style sabers is the way to go. So he's given it to Disney by still using their models of their product to give it to them. Well, see the hypocrisy there? See how ignorant, or I don't know if it's ignorance or it's stupidity or what. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to wrap my head around this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I watched the first one. It's like it wasn't like it wasn't horrible, wasn't great. It was kind of just there. It's like okay, went on with my life. Don't all the only thing I remember about it is fake Padme.
And I honestly have never watched it. I haven't.
Yeah,
because
I think it was like I think it had like. I don't. Did Vader fight? I don't even remember. Wasn't Vader getting his ass kicked by like the Emperor or something? Chat.
I don't know. You guys.
I feel like he was like getting like his ass kicked by Palpatine or something. I don't really remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here wondering if we're both fighting for George Lucas Star Wars, then why are you so angry at me for doing something, making the least amount of profit,
I'm just sharing information with everybody. There's no anger here.
Hold on, bro. For making the least amount of profit, putting the most into a product for the customer, for the fan, which I never fucking got from any other company, and nobody else gets from other companies. I know the shit that they put in there.
So he thinks that his fan film is fighting for George Lucas Star Wars. That's like that's what you were like getting towards. Yeah. It's just like I don't know. In my mind, in my opinion, chat, like if you support anything Disney Star Wars does, then you're not fighting for George Lucas Star Wars. You support anything Disney Star Wars does, you're fighting against what he does. Even if you disagree, even if you dislike most of it, you're still saying like, we need to give him a chance. We need to go in with an open mind and everything. Now, I was kind of there. I was there until Kenobi. I wanted Kenobi to be good just because I love the character so much. It was my favorite character. When I was a little kid, right? You know how they like to say, when I was a kid, he was my favorite character. I'm like, all right, can we do that? I knew it was going to be bad, but like, I was just like, I'm still going to do the first ever Shills React series on it because I know it's going to be bad. But if they surprise me, they surprise me. But they sure as shit didn't. And then here we are right now. Here the Gatekeepers Alliance formed.
Mm-hmm.
There we go from Chuck. The fan film was slopping it directly retcons Jerome Lucas Canon.
Jerome.
Jerome Lucas. I might start calling him that, honestly. That's pretty funny.
He supports Jerome Lucas. He doesn't support
Jerome Lucas.
If George
Saber Forge has some pretty badass sabers, and they're made in they're headquartered in the United States. I'm sure they probably have Chinese components there.
Let me tell you something about that. So we're opening up our warehouse this year in the United States, and I could literally put and this goes for anybody into the companies that I fell for when I used to buy.
Okay, now this I remember him saying. I think when we talked the other night, I brought this up. This I remember him saying.
Yeah.
I found this
literally
interesting.
Put a stamp or a sticker on your old fucking website or your box or whatever.
A stamp?
A stamp or sticker.
Okay.
You could literally put a stamp or a sticker on your old fucking website or your box or whatever saying made in the United States, manufactured in the United States. And all I would have to do is throw a screw that was literally made in the United States into the box. This whole thing can come from China. And that's how every other company can put that label on the box, manufactured.
Now, I don't know anything about that, whether that's true or not. A lot of people in the chat are saying that's a lie.
I honestly believe that's a lie too. So I think there has to be a quality control of like how much of the product is made where to say it's from this country or that country.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States. You think it's actually manufactured in the United States? It might be, some of them. But if you actually look, they could...
Well, that's why I haven't gone out, not to cut you off, but that's why I haven't gone out on a limb and said, hey, go to Saber for it, because I know that. So I can't say that they're doing that, but I know that that's a possibility.
I don't know what they do.
Here's your made in America alternative, because I don't know whether they do that or not. So
I don't know.
I'm
either.
not going to give misinformation. See, I'm very about being correct on.
Oh, that's right. Mace Windu was in it. That's right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, or was teased in it, or something like that. Yeah. So isn't that episode 2? Vader's gonna fight Mace Windu.
Something like that, because he had
without his arm.
Yeah, he had
because this is right after. This is like right after episode 3, right?
Something like that. And he had this big old thing about something on Twitter and even his channel about like, oh, George said that it could be possible that Mace survives and stuff. So that's what he's basing that upon too. Because George said, George said it could be possible. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not as bad as who did that? Who did that Heir to the Empire fan film?
Oh, Jar Jar Jarkins or whatever. And he
Yeah.
was so pissed that I reviewed that too.
Oh god, that was like, I was like, what? Mace Windu was alive the entire original trilogy? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, he's at Wayland waiting for. So Sabaoth, they Sabaoth was really black, and his name was Mace. That's it.
All my stuff. So again, when I make videos, I make sure I have the evidence or the receipts to back it up. And again, you could think it's an attack or I'm angry or all that, but it's just that I'm very fact-based. And again, I'm on the Dewey Decimal System, right? So I actually check, I cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure before I drop something like it's correct, And if, everybody fucks up here and there, but not on something like that, right? So I'll definitely correct if I get something wrong on a lower video or something like that. I have no problem correcting and say, hey, I fucked up on that. So,
we're all human, dude. I mean, everybody fucks up.
Of course. I think it's more like, the honesty thing and all that stuff. So that's why, again, I wouldn't be like, go get your Saber here instead without actually knowing. That's actually
no, dude. And the point of this conversation isn't to get you to stop making videos, isn't to get you to stop,
it's just getting you to shut up and stop talking about him.
I don't
me.
Like, as you said, I have the biggest following for Star Wars. I can.
Yeah, like he said in that tweet to Purist originally, like when he first on the what did he say? Like coming after me won't end well for you.
Yeah,
right.
That was kind of a threat too.
Yeah,
that was a threat.
I was like, whoa, okay.
Promote my own shit. That's not my reason. My reason is because I don't know. I find some sort of a commonality here with you. And I want to explore that, and I'm not here to big.
At the end of the day, I think this is despite like all the jokes and everything, and like I think this is very good. Like what we're like seeing here, like us talking to these people, Purist talking to Theory, like this is like really good at the end of the day for all of us. And I look forward to like more of these conversations. Like I say, if this were me, I would be hitting him on the like, do you want Disney Star Wars to fail or don't you? That's what I would be hitting him on. I don't give a shit. I really don't care all that much about the fucking Sabers. I don't follow it at all. That's why I've been sitting here kind of just listening, letting OG take the lead on it. Like, yeah, so that's what like I would be doing. But again, this is a good dialogue. This is a good conversation at the end. Just the fact that the conversation happened and the fact that Theory's conversed with Darth Melvin as well. It's like a great thing. I think it's going to lead to some very like it's getting our voice out there. And like, so like, as The Mandalorian and Grogu and Ahsoka season 2 starts coming along and a lot of these people start spitting out the hopium and everything, right? We're going to be sitting there saying like, do not support this. This is going to be trash. And, hopefully they'll give us a platform to voice our opinion, engage us in a healthy debate. And then we can be correct once again.
Right.
Just like we were for the Acolyte, just like we were for Skeleton Crew. What did we say before Skeleton Crew came out? It will be the least watched Disney Star Wars Disney Plus project. We all said that, and it was. Yeah. So we will be right about The Mandalorian and Grogu, and we'll be right about Ahsoka season 2 as well. I think Ahsoka season 2 is going to do, unless they just come out and say, yep, Obi-Wan's in the entire show just about, Anakin's in the entire show just about. They start doing the key jingle, that'll get people to tune into it. But like other than that, nobody's gonna watch it. That show was like dead in the water until that episode 5, which Theory loved, by the way.
Yeah. And the thing is with this Saber portion here, and I understand the issue of like being fair to fans and stuff. I understand that. But the biggest point here is him using and selling Disney Sabers basically under the premises of him basically saying that he is trying to save George Lucas's legacy.
Mm-hmm. And Riker, I do not dislike Star Wars Theory at all. I'm sure he's like a cool dude that I could like hang out with like outside of Star Wars and hang out with, have a decent time with. I am not for the fucking cancel campaigns that have been levied against him, all the shit he's had to deal with. The biggest rift, the biggest thing is that he's saying, and he said it multiple times here, is that he said, I'm for George Lucas Star Wars. But if you ask him, do you want Disney Star Wars to fail? I'm pretty sure he's going to say no. I'm pretty sure. Maybe he'll surprise me. And if he is, then like, if he does want it to fail, I don't know why he's supporting stuff. But the big issue is that he doesn't, and he's not the only one. It's not just him. We're not going out of our way to put him in the crosshairs. In our crosshairs, he's putting himself there. He put himself there when I was covering Skeleton Crew, and he was saying the same exact things as the shills do. So again, I don't dislike him. I would have a conversation with him, absolutely. I would be nice, kind, and respectful, but I would be firm. I would call him out when he's wrong, and I would say, like, bro, like Disney Star Wars, if you truly love George Lucas Star Wars, then you need to support Disney Star Wars, the failure of Disney Star Wars. You just have to, because I'm telling you, I've said this before, when George, I hope George lives a very long time, but when George eventually becomes one with the Force, I'm telling you, watch the fuck out. Watch out. That's when they did it to Stan Lee. Whenever George becomes one with the Force, I'm telling you, like, they're going to look back. It's like, oh, we've already made things in the original trilogy not make sense with, like, Kenobi and the sequels and everything. And it doesn't comply with our diversity, equity, and inclusion standards. There's so many white men in front of and behind the camera. We're just going to go ahead and stick the original trilogy in Legends, and we're going to redo the original trilogy for modern audiences. Now, that could be 10, 20, 30 years down the line, but trust me, if they thought it was right, they want to do this. They want, I 100% believe that they want to do this. And now that's why we need to act now in rejecting it. That's why Disney Star Wars needs to fail so that one day does not happen. That's why we're fighting as hard. That's why I'm fighting, and we are fighting as hard as we're fighting. You think Kathleen Kennedy likes the idea that she can't even come close to competing with those three movies, episodes 4, 5, and 6? And, and her fucking, how fucking, big of a feminist she is, and how fucking she's for the Force's female agenda and the DEI stuff. The fact that those three movies with all the white men involved in front of and behind the camera are by just about everyone considered the best ones, the best Star Wars of it all. She can't, trust me, she can't stand that. That's why they have been trying to do damage to it. That's why, you guys like Luke Skywalker? We're going to make him a fucking old hermit. You guys like Boba Fett? We're going to turn him, we're going to fuck him up. You like Vader? We're going to give him a bunch more L's. Like, how many L's has Disney Star Wars given Darth Vader? He lost to Kenobi. He lost to that chick in Jedi Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Who
and
else
then the Alpha girl or whatever her name is. There's so many times he's lost to a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Luke Skywalker again in Book of Boba Fett.
And when he barely gets this newest one, I reported on Half Chat last week, or was it week before? He lost to a Jedi that didn't get killed in the Purge right after the Purge happened, or Order 66 was implemented, and he was in the suit. He was sent after him, nearly got his ass whooped there too.
Yes, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they've done damage to him. Han Solo, that's why they're doing it. So when you go back and look at those movies, you're like, Han Solo, just like the male feminist boy, like, he touched Leia without her permission. Like, that's deep down what that guy said is what the fucking people over at Disney really, really think. And I reiterate that line that the shills were saying when the Acolyte was coming out. You guys remember the big one? You're like, well, Disney, they shouldn't have to, keep in mind, they shouldn't have to cater to a movie that came out Disney should be allowed to tell the story that they want to tell and not have to cater to a movie, talking about episode 1, cater to a movie that came out 25 years ago or 40 years ago. That's and I swear to God, they get that from people that work over there. And I'm telling you, it's not off the table. Like, yeah, we're gonna put the original trilogy in Legend, and you know, the prequels, they do that with that too.
And then, you know, like with the thing with, you didn't know about the red X over Lucas's face in headquarters, and I believe that this is right before The Last Jedi came out too. So just a little bit more history to that. From what you said, you know, it goes way back. They were already planning on destroying the character, destroying the legacy, you know, because they wanted a clean slate to do their own. And I believe this clean slate not only is wiping out or tossing the EU, is also wiping out and tossing what George created, like the movies, the foundation. So when I say what George created, it's not separate from the EU. It's just the foundation where everything began.
Yeah, Chuck is 100%. It's going to change absolutely nothing. And I think Dave Filoni is worse. I 100% think Dave Filoni. I think he's a bigger feminist. I think he supports tearing down George's legacy even more than she does. All right, let's continue with the purist versus the theory.
Sub channel comes in and tries to show. I'm not big sub channel comes in and tries to show. I'm not, you know, like you said in the beginning, I'm not Levi. I don't think of you as fucking Levi. I think of you as another dude that clearly likes the same kind of shit I like, but there's some things here that probably need to be cleared up, and the only way to do that is to talk person to person. So that's why I'm chilling here, and I'm happy to do that. I'm always happy to talk to a fellow fan who's actually like about George Lucas Star Wars, because there are so few of us as content creators left.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to push George Lucas Star Wars and the expanded universe, and that's why I think, you know, obviously large creators covering lore and doing all that again would help the algorithm out, instead of worrying about Kathleen Kennedy and who's going to replace, you know, Dave Filoni or Kathleen Kennedy when she leaves, or maybe it's Favreau. Hey, maybe it'll be Sam Witwer. Like, Sam Witwer has absolutely no, like,
I don't think.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, whatever. We know he's totally vaccinated, but like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Like,
we know he's totally vaccinated.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I walked by when I was at GalaxyCon. I walked right by Sam Witwer. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, like, I could give two shits about him.
Yeah, you know, Force Unleashed was a good game, but I don't care.
No.
Edition at a fucking multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar.
Listen. You're living in the place that I'm trying to move to. Okay, there isn't much I can say right now with Trudeau. Okay, so
yeah. Well, that's fine. I don't want you to get in trouble. We don't need the.
Fuck. At least let me make it out of here first.
But you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be somebody else can save.
I know what you're
saying, and I know what
you're saying.
You, along with a lot of others, are still pushing that narrative. You know, Ryan. That's why I like Ryan a lot, man. He's a very genuine and honest fucking person. He's not going to sell people like a shitty bag of goods, right? He even interjected when I'm like, well, who the fuck's Puck News? You know, and he explained, oh, well, hey, the dude used to be the, you know, whatever executive editor or whatever the fuck his position was, right? And then he started his own company, but he used to be with Hollywood.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, by the way, she's going to be there for at least another 5 years.
Yeah, she
at least she said she's working on the next 2 movies.
Right.
Yeah,
and how long has she been producing these movies? It's like nothing that came out yet.
She is involved in the creative of The Mandalorian and Grogu. That right there is your reason to not support it.
The reporter or whatever. But Ryan even said, like, hey, you know, even if this news is true or if it's not true, even though I think it's true, it's bullshit, because there's not a realistic way to save Star Wars. It's fucked already.
Exactly.
There's no changing it. But other people are like, just get rid of Kathleen.
Do you believe that theory? Like, he says right, but like, I'm like, do you really believe that? I don't.
Right.
I don't think that he does.
No. Well, look at his face right there too.
My opinion.
Like,
I don't want to. He's like, I don't want to have that argument.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
you know, we'll see. But we'll see. I know he's been. I know he's been like, you know, he was being very critical, you know, for Acolyte and Outlaws and like the end of Ahsoka and everything. Even though he flip flopped most of those things.
Clean and everything's going to be okay, and this, that,
No,
etc.
it's a step though.
That's just hopium. It's just hopium.
It is.
Wait, what's a step?
But at the same-
What's a step? I missed that. What's a step? Like a step in the right direction? What exactly is a step in the right
Well,
direction?
yeah, the step.
I gotta,
right.
I gotta hear that again.
Okay.
Way to save Star Wars. It's fucked already, and there's no changing it. But
Right.
other people are like, just get rid of Kathleen, and everything's going to be okay.
Oh,
and
Kathleen
this, that.
Kennedy is a step.
Yeah, like
it's a meaningless step. It's
Right.
It's an absolutely mean. It could literally be, honestly, it could be a step. I mean, in the terms of Disney Star Wars, people who like Disney Star Wars and want Disney Star Wars to succeed, it honestly could be a step backwards. It could be a step. It could get someone worse.
Right.
Filoni.
Yeah.
No,
etc.
it's a step
And
though.
That's just hopium. It's just hopium.
It is.
And they're not doing it because they're listening to the fans, by the way. If that was the case, if Kathleen Kennedy leaving, if there was it, they're not doing it because of the fans. They don't give a fuck what the fans think.
Yeah.
They've said
So,
this.
so Theory says
But
it's a step, and he agrees it's hopium because he's like, it's step there, and Pierce goes, it's hopium. He goes, it is, you know, and
Hope-
stuff. So,
I hope it's a step in the right direction. It doesn't sound
Yeah.
like you want Disney Star Wars to fail then.
At the same time, see what I'm trying to
In my opinion.
do is I think I can.
Because apparently I have to start saying in my opinion now because otherwise I can be sued. Right, Jeff?
I've done the lore stuff over the years, and I've done the fan fictions, and I've done this and that, and I've done all the different types of content when it was just a few Star Wars channels, including Sexplained. And I think the best.
I'll give him a point for calling him Sexplained. I'll give him a point for that. Good shit.
best way that I can actually make any sort of difference is that fan film. That's why I'm literally killing myself to make it happen. Because I truly believe not only will it bring back the magic, at least for George Lucas fans of Star Wars, the old guys, the guys who at least still connect with the original trilogy and prequel trilogy, but it'll also show the world and Lucasfilm that...
Boom, 100%. A positive step would be decanonizing everything in Disney Star Wars. That is a step. That is a foot stomp in the right direction. But that's not going to happen.
Nope.
Unless Disney Star Wars fails.
Look at the fans loving this. Look at the amount of views. Because that's clearly all they care about. That's clearly all they see. Look at what the interest is. Maybe they'll start to take notice and be like, you know what? Fuck, let's make something that's actually like a little bit cool. I spoke to Stuart Beatty.
Absolutely the fuck. Absolutely the fuck not. I want to hear that again though.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the amount of views. Because that's clearly all
Okay,
they
so who's he talking about? Look at the views. Who's he talking about?
Fans of Star Wars, the old guys, the magic, at least for George Lucas.
Okay, so he's talking about like George Lucas fans. Look at the views that they. Okay.
Fans of Star Wars, the old guys, the guys who at least still connect with the original trilogy and prequel trilogy. But it'll also show the world and Lucasfilm that look at the fans loving this. Look at the amount of views. Because that's clearly all they care about. That's clearly all they see. Look at what the interest is. Maybe they'll start to take notice and be like, you know what? Fuck, let's make something that's actually like a little bit cool. I spoke to Stuart Beatty, and I know you know that I...
Oh my god.
They're not, before we get to that, like, you know, again, they're not making, Disney doesn't give a fuck what we think. They're not making Star Wars for us. They're making Star Wars for Kyle Katarn. They're making Star Wars for Louise Julie, for Star Wars cross-dressing Sexplained. They're making Star Wars for those people.
Mm-hmm. And you know, my friend Matt Wilkins, he's
For
even
Eric Boss.
Right.
That's who they're making Star Wars.
Yeah. And Matt Wilkins, my friend Matt Wilkins, he's even talked to someone from Disney. I forget the name. I apologize. And basically he asked him, will you guys ever focus on like the EU, bring it back? And, you know, for the long-term fans, you know, they're older fans, I guess you can say. And they're like, nope, we're going forward with what we want to do. And that's not included in it. I'm paraphrasing, but that was confirmed. They're not interested in what George produced before other than the movies they're just interested in what they can create and what they want to put out.
Okay, Brandon for $2 earlier. I don't know. Did you know what that MSM2 is? The OMD. So do you know what those acronyms are? I don't know.
No, I'm not a big gamer anymore. Like when I was
I don't. Is that something really... Spider-Man? Spider-Man? Is that multiverse? Brandon, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you were talking about there, and I'll come back to it. See, I'm not like I'm kind of a video game, but like kind of not. Theory drive me nuts for $5. Thanks, Brandon. Drive me nuts because he claims to fight for George Lucas Star Wars, yet he will show for things like Kenobi or Skeleton Crew. He should have gate kept. Did he support Kenobi at the end, or did he like end up turning on it at the end?
I think he ended up turning on it at the end because he supported it initially all the way through. He was excited about that. And then when he got more into BD, which we're talking about, then he's like, oh, well, I'm not. So he basically flip-flopped on this one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker. I think the first Theory video I ever watched, fun fact, was his Rise of Skywalker review, and I was like, "Yep, screw this guy. Not watching. Not watching. Not watching this guy." And I think I never watched him really again until like I started the channel around like Ahsoka. It's like a fun little story there. MSM2 is for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Okay, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and one more. Okay, you're good, Brandon. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't really remember those ones. I played like the video or the movie version Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
And I never played the Amazing Spider-Man game.
And Star Wars, our purist says right here, yes, he cried the last episode and gave it a 9.7 and said it's more Star Wars than Revenge of the Sith. Receipts for the Alliance Theory video. Yes.
Oh, I must have missed that. I know I like bopped in and out during. I'm gonna have to go back and like
cried
watch
for Qui-Gon being a Force ghost.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, they all did. Yeah, another thing. Again, chat. When I talk about putting himself out there with the shills and saying and doing things that the shills are doing. That's another example right there. Right. What Star Wars Marvel Purist just said. I am not going out there trying to put him in the crosshairs, but you do. I understand Qui-Gon was a good character in episode 1. I like Qui-Gon in episode 1, but when I saw that scene, when I saw him show up, I think I just laughed, just like, nice try, Disney. Not gonna work on me. Thank God this is over. I think that was my reaction. I was like, or maybe it was like, God, I can't wait to make Kenobi Shill's finale.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, some more homework.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be some content.
I spoke to him, and I saw.
Okay,
his
so now we're getting into the Beatty thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Take notice and be like, you know what? Fuck, let's make something that's actually like a little bit cool. I spoke to Stuart Beatty. And I know you know that I spoke to him. And I saw his entire treatment for the project. And, dude, there are guys out there that know their shit. There are guys out there that can write really well and know Star Wars very well.
Okay, let me ask you this. Can they save Luke Skywalker's character?
Can they, like Beatty? No.
Can they say, after what Disney has done to Luke Skywalker, can they save it? Can they fix it?
No. He doesn't realize that you could still be a great writer, but not know the content you're writing about, or be a great writer, but still don't want to follow that content.
Mm-hmm. Can they fix Kenobi? Can they fix Vader? Can they fix Boba Fett? Can they, I don't give a fuck about Ahsoka. She can just die and I wouldn't bat an eyelash. She's not supposed to be canon anyway, Filoni. But, can they fix can they repair the damage that they've done? No, they're trying to. That's what everything we're getting. That's what the Mandalorian and Grogu, I'm here like, oh, we're getting Luke, Han, and Leia in the Mandalorian and Grogu. No, we're not. We're not. We're getting computer generated images that a bunch of retards are going to clap for and cry over. And it's going to be hilarious to make fun of them for it and then see them cry about us making fun of them for it. And they'll say, this is Star Wars, as a computer-generated AI image is looking at, and voice, by the way, and voice.
And voice, very important. The
which sounds terrible. By the way,
there's no soul behind that whatsoever. There's no soul in.
I remember Luke in. I was in stitches laughing at Luke in the Mandalorian finale, and then like I was like, okay, the best decision here is for them to just not show his face, and then like they're not going to show his face because that'd be a horrible idea. Show his face. I lost it.
Oh
I remember being like, no, like whenever the X-Wing pulled, I'm like, no. I saw a glove on the hand. I was like, no. I saw a green lightsaber. I was like, no. And I was like, it's him.
Yeah.
But then the hilarity ensued.
Oh, damn.
But yes, to his point, I don't care. Like they can't fix it, and Disney wouldn't let them fix it.
No.
Filoni could have pulled Leslie Headland into his office and say, hey Leslie, look, I'm not going to change your show because, you know, God forbid I change a lesbian woman's work. But could you take Kiadi-Mundi out of the show? He's not supposed to be there. His scene doesn't really mean anything or contribute to the story really at all. Can you just like take the Kiadi-Mundi scene out of there? Like it breaks George Lucas canon. Nope, he just good to go, Leslie.
But did you not hear that he did change her stuff? That has been reported.
What did he change?
There's parts of the script that he didn't approve or that he said do this instead of that.
Probably made it worse.
That's my point. When that first was revealed not too long ago, I was like,
maybe it was the opposite. Maybe Filoni said, "Hey Leslie, we need some key jingle. Stick a Kiadi-Mundi in there."
Yes.
I'm gonna go pet my dog.
Yeah, Leslie was
another one. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Star Wars Marvel Purist says in there Leslie was too dark. So that was it. It was like a too dark of a story, so he needed it to be switched up.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That could have been bad too. It could have been like Leslie's too dark. It could like Chimere and I'm gonna say Ahsoka. Chimere and Osha probably actually fucked in it. So I don't know. Maybe that was a good thing. That's probably what it was. There's too much porn in it.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you guys, season 2 of The Acolyte coming to Pornhub.
They can hire them. They just need to point that person, whoever's hiring, which is why I want Kathleen out of there, in the direction of these people and actually keep them. And I think that, I don't think...
Here comes the hopium.
Right.
Here comes if they do this, if they do that, then Disney Star Wars might be good.
Right.
Okay. How many years of this have we had? 10 years?
10 plus years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Yes, this is the conversation between us and Theory and Josh and Dash Who, and I'm gonna have to come up with a name for Wave, but this is the conversation that needs to be had.
Kathleen's gonna be replaced by anybody that's different. To be honest, it's probably another clone, but maybe there's a better chance.
There it is. There it is. I did not watch this ahead of time. Like maybe.
That's his big old like whiff of hopium right there.
Maybe, man. We gotta have hope. We gotta give it a chance. Like no. This is what I mean. This is why we rip Theory right here. This is what he asked. Like he says he feels like we're on the same side. He doesn't know why he gets targeted. This right here, chat, is why. This right here. We have to have hope. After failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, we have to still have hope. After The Acolyte got canceled, imagine like they introduced Darth Plagueis, one of like the biggest behind the scenes characters in George Lucas Star Wars. One of the best. I mean, of the
big influencer
of the 4 novels I've read, that one is my favorite so far. Yeah. Like that character is that's a big, enormous character. And if George Lucas did something while he still owned Star Wars, with Darth Plagueis. Guaranteed success. Disney, they fucked it up so much they introduced that character and then canceled the show they introduced him in a month.
Right.
Like that is very telling.
Turned him into a fucking creeper, like behind the scenes creeping around the cave looking.
Yeah, right.
God, there's nothing.
And they fucked his age up. He shouldn't be a Sith at that point in his life, right?
No.
It should be like Tenebrous. It should be Tenebrous and his master.
Right.
At that time, am I right? You would know better than me.
Or he at that point Plagueis wouldn't even, he'd be apprentice but not a master. So around that time frame, if at all, so yeah.
Okay, so about Plagueis would be very young, a young apprentice, or not on the scene yet.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, fake Plagueis. That's not the real Darth Plagueis.
Yes, he was under Tenebrous. It's my Wokalite.
Leslie Headland must have thought that people were gonna that was her guarantee for a season 2. She might have at least shot that scene season 2. That's why they were talking about it. They were talking about it. There was a plan in place, but nobody watched it. It just crashed hilariously.
Actually, keep them. And I think that
yes,
I don't think Kathleen's going to be replaced.
Again, this is why.
And whoever's hiring, which is why I want Kathleen out of there, in the direction of these people, and actually keep them. And I think that I don't think Kathleen's going to be replaced by anybody that's different. To be honest, it's probably another clone.
And I didn't watch this ahead of time. That was just coincidence, and me knowing.
Felt it coming.
I know the way these people think.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe there's a better chance that she's actually, or whoever it is, he or she is going to hire someone that will know what the fuck they're talking about and actually stick with it. It seems like she's hiring.
Is he trying to turn purist here?
I think he's.
Is he saying
there's a bit of
come on purist,
purist,
let's try and enjoy Disney Star Wars together. Let's maybe get some good shit and we can all love it again. No, go read the EU.
With me, just take a big old sniff of my maybe.
That is probably the truest truth that has been uttered this line. Ku Klux Klan likes lesbians.
Bring all the right people, like BD and this and that, but then she lets them go and then hires a bunch of cronies to make a watered-down script of whatever he wrote. So if we can just cut out that process, then, clean house is my motto with all of that stuff there.
He doesn't realize that no matter if you get rid of the person who wrote the script or not, or the writer is still there, they could still change your script in a drop of a hat. Scripts are always changed and developed and stuff like that. So that even the script he gave and stuff like that, if he stayed on board, they can say, no, let's go ahead and go this approach and stuff like that. So they don't have true control of their scripts. That can be changed. And when you look into even George Lucas and the development of Star Wars under him and stuff, the scripts were being changed up to the point of Harrison Ford doing his own ad libs to some things and stuff like that. And so it's always changing. So
Brandon's right. If clean house is the viewpoint, then literally clean the house, clean it all out. Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel we should just burn it to the ground because they already destroyed everything the fans actually loved, and that's the thing. There's this argument the EU was canon, it wasn't canon, this, that, and all this bullshit. At the end of the day, George Lucas created Star Wars. He created ILM. He created Lucas Arts. He created Lucas Publishing Lucas Publishing. He created all those different factions and created and oversaw. Now you can get into the minutia over, he wasn't there doing the grips on the fucking, the movie, or he wasn't doing this or the sound effects on it. Let's be realistic. He's a fucking busy guy. He's a CEO of a massive fucking company. He was planning to do the prequels, obviously, when we were waiting after the original trilogy. He had a lot. I have 2 out of my 4 videos out. He had a lot to do with a lot of the fucking expanded universe, and that's under his era. And we got the best Star Wars under his era, and all that Star Wars lore under his era. Just because a company buys an IP, they
nothing to argue with that.
Don't get to just change it and bastardize it and say, well, now this is canon, because canon is established. It's not dictated, right?
Now, canon is whatever you want it to be. Simon Rabies, remember? Canon is whatever you want it to be. Canon's always changing. That's the beautiful thing. It's whatever you want it to be.
It's like every different campfire. You can go and hear the slightly different variants of the story at different campfire, you know, because that's the Filoni way.
Right.
So
we agree on
it
that.
doesn't matter. That's why categorically it's easy for me to just say Disney Star Wars is fucking trash. And somebody's like, well, you're not being fair, da 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 da. Well, I mean, you didn't watch the show, so you can't comment on it. Well, I could tell those same people, well, you haven't read the expanded universe, so you can't comment on what the real lore is because you actually didn't consume it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of bending to their will and like, oh, well, I guess this is the lore. Like I always bring up the Ninja Turtles, right? So if I buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next week and I turn them into fish and Master Splinter is a fucking octopus, right? Obviously that's radical, right? But hey, I own the IP.
No, it's the same sort of mentality.
That's not how it works. You know, that's not how it works.
No, I agree, dude. You're preaching to the choir.
He did a video this week, like bitching about like I don't know, something about like how slow it is. So like I'm going through that for a Wednesday show. Maybe there'll be some stuff there. Maybe he'll get a nomination or something. So he did make a video, a Star Wars video that I'm gonna go through. It's on the list of shills, which has grown to 78, by the way.
Phew, damn.
I agree with that.
So I just don't understand how that's like, well, but if we give him another chance, if we can get the right person, you know, this, and that.
Because I do believe that, like, if we had gotten BD's 3 films, I
you know, from what I heard about that, it still sucked.
You know, and I did a breakdown. I did a watch party breakdown of that whole interview and him talking about the scripts to Star Wars Theory. And some of the things that he wrote in there goes against the movie lore. I guess you could say if you just don't want to talk about the EU, like Kenobi book and stuff like that, it goes against just the premise of George Lucas's OT and even PT when it came to Kenobi and how he was respond, how Luke was made, you know, like how he had how he was responding towards Luke. It's very similar to what they put into the Kenobi show and stuff like. There's a lot of similarities still there that he talked about to Theory in his scripts that they used, you know, Deborah Chow used for Kenobi or the OK show.
Yeah, and Reva was in it, but you know she wasn't as bad.
She wasn't in it that much, and they just inserted her in there like totally all the way. I don't know. It's some crazy bullshit. Yeah.
Shit, I think
but he created Reva. Isn't that the main character that everyone, including yourself?
Yeah, but it was not. Yeah, but it was. She wasn't even barely.
Apparently, she wasn't bad enough. If he gave the Kenobi finale a 9.7 out of 10, apparently Reva wasn't. Apparently, Reva even in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series wasn't that bad.
And she survived how many times from a lightsaber wound stab? You know, so it wasn't that bad.
SWA for $5. George only considered the first 6 movies as the Clone Wars as and the Clone Wars as canon. Didn't really care about Wedgeon's theory. What do you have to say for yourself now? You talking about the are you talking about the micro series Clone Wars? Because that did lead into Revenge of the Sith.
No, the TCW is the Clone Wars Filoni. So George Lucas only considered the first 6 movies and TCW as canon, didn't really care about Wedgeon's theory. What would you have to say on that for yourself now with the ST? You know, so yeah, basically that's Theory's belief, because he did recently just talk about how the EU wasn't canon and stuff like that. And I think like myself and purists and stuff had basically said some things about that already. And now all of a sudden he's all about everything George and stuff like that. And then also I haven't heard his full stance about the ST. Oh, actually, you know, they're going to talk about it here. I think they do talk about it in here about George Lucas's sequel trilogy, or quote unquote George Lucas's sequel trilogy. All the ideas George had for a sequel trilogy basically was a part of the negotiations to sell to Disney. He even said to Cameron in the interview, and I have it in the Cameron's book that I have on my shelf, that his focus was always going to be the wills. like the little microbiotics inside the Force and stuff like that. And he was always afraid to make it because he, you know, he's going scientific more on that than anything else when it came to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Yeah. So it goes into that too. This does. But yes, Clone Wars does go to and begins or ends at where Revenge of the Sith begins. You know, the battle above Coruscant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shows how Grievous got his cough too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Barely focused on in his script, and it was completely different than what Joby Harold did and Deborah Chow. Completely fucking different.
Because here's the thing, like, okay, so I'll be fair. I'll play the game, right? So I'm gonna stick with Disney lore, right? Well, why are you wasting the time redeveloping a new Inquisitor when you already had a show called Rebels where you developed all different kinds?
Okay, you're quoting theory. Okay, that was like I was a little bit confused on that.
Yeah,
okay.
he is quoting theory.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Okay, because I was like that line about the EU. I was like, EU was canon.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the 5 SWA. Sorry for the confusion. See what I mean? Like about the 2-hour mark, I start going. Let's say like I don't know how Purist did this. I don't know how Purist does this for 6 hours, but did this for 6 hours. You see, like I'm beat after 2 hours. Probably did better than I would have done.
Types of Inquisitors that are still alive during the show. And instead of wasting all that time character building a new Inquisitor that's not even fucking needed, you could get right into the real shit. The Obi-Wan fucking, you know, contemplating the events of the prequel trilogy and stuff. And
I was just reading
up until obviously the OT, and then Vader trying to hunt down and kill Jedi or have his Inquisitor. Like you've already built all that up. Like, so if
dude, that shit was gonna open up with that.
Following the Disney lore, why are you wasting your time doing that? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
So I don't
yeah,
see
he's
how
a
that
myth
makes
and it doesn't make
media
sense and he's doing
because
it.
again, he's wasting
No, it doesn't.
No, it
time
doesn't.
creating an Inquisitor that we don't need when he could have just interwoven the already pre-existing lore. And then he has weird shit with Luke Skywalker with a red lightsaber on Mustafar and this, that, and the other. And that, like,
Yeah, bro,
I believe that was a
been-
vision or something.
It was
right?
a vision, but that would have been sick. You wouldn't want to see that?
Fuck no, dude, because we've already had.
Wait, well, I missed that. I was reading the SWA.
Yeah, it's talking about on BD's about Luke Skywalker, young Luke Skywalker with the red lightsaber and stuff. So go ahead and rewind it.
What? Oh,
weird shit with Luke Skywalker with a red lightsaber on Mustafar and this, that, and the other. And that, like,
Yeah, bro,
I believe that was a
been-
vision or something.
It was
right?
a vision, but that would have been sick. You wouldn't want to see that?
Fuck no, dude, because we've.
It wouldn't really have done much
It doesn't
for me.
make
I know the fake reactors would have loved it, but like
Well-
you know, it would have did nothing for me.
But it doesn't make sense for that type of vision. Like a vision, still, it doesn't make sense to put Luke.
There has to be context behind the vision. There has to be a reason for it. It's just
And
like
just because-
Kenobi's afraid that Luke's gonna fall to the dark side. Like, okay,
Okay, so then he's going to be on Mustafar just because of that vision, you know, or whatever. I mean, usually a vision of future has some truth behind it, but it's just one version of the truth, which means that Luke
was it
would
supposed to be like supposed to be like a precursor to like the Dagobah cave scene or something?
I don't know, really. It was just a vision just to make Obi-Wan not want to train or hold back or whatever his training towards Luke and stuff like that on Tatooine. Yeah.
Already
Yeah, it's
had
just
Luke
something
Skywalker bastardized where he was gonna kill his fucking nephew, dude. We're talking about Luke Skywalker, the guy who gave forgiveness and a second chance to Kip Duron, who would fucking eviscerated a massive amount of fucking people in the universe because that's Luke Skywalker. Instead, he's trying to slash down his fucking nephew over a bad dream. And then now we're gonna then now see him having a red lightsaber. I don't want to see that. That's not what Luke Skywalker's about.
Well, of course it's not what it's about, but that's why it was a vision. It would still have been sick to see. I'm a fan fiction guy. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Especially with what we got, and I know that you like Matthew Stover, and I like his work.
Theory wants to see. We know what Theory wants to see.
Oh yeah, and he's confusing like fan fiction. He's confusing.
Red. That's red.
Sorry, go
That's
ahead.
right. He's thinking fan fiction is like a theory thing. No, you're a theorist. That's why you want to see it. Fan fiction is or did you say fan fiction or film? He said fan fiction, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Never mind then. I take that back.
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind.
That's
Yes.
true. So yeah, Ewan McGregor will do anything. Yeah, he's gonna be apparently gonna be in Ahsoka season 2 in the fucking armor. Oh god. We're gonna have another Ahsoka episode 5 season 1 Shills React video 2026. Already looking forward to that. Star Wars will be saved on that day again.
Or 2. But did you ever see my interview with him where he was like totally for The Last Jedi and he was like all about that scene where Luke was about to strike down
I didn't see that part of it. I think I've seen parts of it, but yeah, no, I didn't see that. But hey, again, I can agree with Matt Stover on a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to canon and continuity and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's,
oh yeah. No, I mean the guy's brilliant. You know, we both agree.
He's
on
also
it.
dark side, right? I call Matt Stover, James Lucino, and
dude,
Drew
there's
Karpyshyn,
it's been
they're the Sith triumvirate, right?
Yeah, it's
Because
been clipped into oblivion by a lot of the Disney shows because they're like, watch as he like his mind gets blown with his favorite author, and I'm like, well, fuck about the Last Jedi, and I mean he kind of like, I mean if you ever watch that clip, it's literally him talking about like how he endorses that scene and how it was supposed to be, because if Luke didn't do it, then he would have, then his brother would have, or then Han would have died or something. I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, well,
but,
and I won't put words into his mouth or say that I know his mindset, but at the same time, I think he said he was having some health issues, didn't have insurance, stuff like that, weren't getting royalties from Disney after the something to that effect. So he could have also been positioning himself to try to get hired with Disney, right? Like, and again, I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but that could be a possibility. But the one thing I'll always agree with Stover,
it was all canon. Everything published was canon. It was all canon. Everything published was canon.
He went on to with what's that fucker's name?
Yeah, Around the Galaxy. What's his name? Pete? Something.
Pete Fletcher. Yeah, God. Grogu doll. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Pete Fletcher. Grogu doll.
Mm-hmm.
There are more of us.
And the thing is it's what's so crazy, and I pointed this out before, since I think I even put it in chat, is that Theory brings on these authors, but he's never read their fucking books. Think about it. He brings on these authors to interview, but has never read their books.
Got the clicks, though.
Mm-hmm.
John Gets Gaming for $5. I could make a teaser with red lightsaber R2, Jabba with a lightsaber, and Luke kissing Ahsoka, and the shills would love it. They like random surprise. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The junior sex blains, anything sexual, they would love. They're going to Japan, by the way. They're probably going to break some law over there, like age of consent law or something. God knows what they're with them and everything. Yeah. Louise, Jolie, yep, they're all big with the sex shit in Star Wars. Porn wars. All right, yep, and there's the Grogu doll right there on the right. Thank you, John, for the $5.
Was canon. Was canon.
Damn, he went on that guy's channel?
Huh?
Yes, he did. Yeah, God, yeah, no, yeah, we said the same thing. It's a pretty bad look.
He went on that dude's fucking thing?
The funniest thing is, the Disney Shield channels is where you'll get all the actual real information about the EU. Because for whatever reasons, these guys go on. Again, I don't know if it's an access thing. Yeah, wait, watch this one. You know who Star Wars Meg is, right? She's a big shill. Watch this.
Right. I want to ask you a very honest question. How do you feel about the way Lucasfilm decanonized the expanded universe? There's a big debate amongst fans. Some say it was never...
Does she talk like that?
She's got some kind of voice generator going on. She doesn't talk. I don't think she talks like that whatsoever.
Oh. I was like, well, she's live. So she just does this like live. She like puts the voice generator.
I believe so.
Is Catfish Katarn still in the, or Ku Klux Katarn is still in the chat? He would probably know. That's insane.
The expanded universe. There's a big debate amongst fans.
Like, I've seen her videos. I've never seen her in a live before. Like, this guy's probably talking to her like, what the fuck am I talking to?
Some say it was never canon to begin with. Others say canon is not dictated, it's established. What do you say about it?
Well, I think, first of all, when we were writing those books, we were told we were writing canon. So at that time, we were creating canon. And so anybody who says they were never canon is just incorrect. Incorrect. Incorrect.
That's obviously my editing there at the end, but
Yeah,
you see the point. So they're the ones who actually get the information. They didn't go on your channel, they didn't tell me, they didn't go on Ryan's channel.
Oh, they won't touch my channel.
They actually have the information, and yet they're the ones that'll turn around and say that the expanded universe wasn't canon. Or you'll have somebody like Echo Base or Echo Chamber go and be like, "Oh yeah, see this." This other shill said the EU is not canon. It's like, dude, they're actually the ones getting the damn information. It's
well, I mean,
amazing.
No, I know, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
And
at all.
she even said decanonize the expanded universe, so she even gets that much about it.
Yeah, well,
I've
never really actually spoken with her, but we had a run in once.
She's a shill, and she's like
very
TDS.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. They had a run in, and it wasn't very good. So she's probably a woker.
Yeah.
She's like retweeted me though a couple times. Really weird.
She basically she started following me on Twitter like a week ago.
Really? Yeah. I don't. She I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Is she keeping tabs or just she's like just
and
blinded
I'm just
by
alone or whatever, and just leave it alone and see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've shared that video clip too of hers. I've really never shared anything other than that video clip and stuff like that, and engaged with that conversation. And so what Pierce is doing here is because we have Theory, who has said before the EU, like the EU was never canon, everything like only George's movies and blah blah blah, and that's where that super chat came from. And so this proves him wrong, and now he's saying, "Yeah, I agree." So you see how he switches at a drop of a hat based on who is on his channel, or who he's talking with, because it's not his channel, but that he's on. But yeah.
Freaking crazy. So
yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't I grew up with this. I was 10 years after you, so I grew up with the same kind of shit that you did, and so I'm fighting for that. It's not even like a stance that I'm trying to take. It's just in me that I just feel like that this is what Star Wars is, what George created. It's not like a position.
Up there's Dash Who in the chat. Sweet Saber is a sweet saber, bruh. God, take that, Star Wars Marvel Purist.
Yeah, he really gave it to you, Purist, right there.
Damn.
$2 worth of a nice little gut punch or something, or I don't know.
Right. Sweet Saber's a sweet saber, man.
Dash Who, yeah, hashtag Dash Who.
Dash Who in the chat.
Is that actually Dash?
You're a shill, Dash. What can I say? You already established that.
I'm getting the vibe that eventually, you're gonna come on the channel.
That's why he's
didn't defend him again. There's the invite though. There's the invite to the channel.
Come on my channel.
Establish that.
I'm getting the vibe that eventually, you're gonna come on the channel.
That's why he sold his channel and then said he wasn't a shill and came back as an EU diehard.
Oh, dude, don't hit him on that. He's so hurt about selling. He's so hurt. He's so hurt about selling that shit.
You remember that, but you don't remember who he was personally.
That we remember. Yeah, YouTube drama is always much more memorable. I don't know the story. So like, the only story I know about Dash Who is that like he Dash was somebody. He was Dash somebody back in the day, and then he sold it, and then he sold the channel, and now he's Dash Who, and he just can't get back to where he was. He must have been in a bad place or something. I don't know.
Do you know the story of Dash Who?
I don't.
Something the Jedi will never tell you about because they don't know either.
Yeah, who would?
I feel bad for him.
That sucks.
That guy fucked him.
It's like I fucked it. Well, maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you shouldn't have allowed yourself to get fucked. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I don't know the story at all. So maybe there was some uncontrollable shit that I don't know. I mean, like if I were, I don't know. I would think that you have control of selling your channel. Maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, the guy didn't even maintain the channel.
No, he like bastardized it, like turned it into something else, and he's just like to sell it. He wants like an obscene amount of money, like just stupid. Doesn't make sense.
Oh, to like sell it back to him.
Probably. I don't know about that, but yeah.
Too bad. Probably isn't worth
Yeah,
it.
right.
Probably isn't worth it anymore.
I agree, Zombie Box.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It was like
Get
she
that
sounds like
demon
AI.
off your PFP, Zombie Box. Come on, get that bitch off of there.
The music.
What's next?
Yep.
I don't know, man. What's next?
We need like a little. We need like a little more like hopeful like music, like playing now that the invitation to Theory Stream's been extended.
Oh.
It's getting a little more positive than it
It needs
was
to be a
at the
little bit more
start.
livelier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to chat about.
Will you try to make more lore videos? Are you guys doing your book reviews or what? Are you firing Mrs. Dash and
I busted up laughing. I'm like, this is like
Okay, I missed. I guarantee I fell asleep before this because I did not hear this. I must have fell asleep at this point. I think I fell asleep around before the like Disney Star Wars and like Kathleen Kennedy stuff happened. But definitely I fell asleep for this. Are you gonna fire them? Wow.
Will you try to make more lore videos? Are you guys doing your book reviews or what? Are you firing Mrs. Dash and Stupenda's Wave? Like is Joshy Boy coming in and taking up their spot?
No, Josh and I
know
will
you
have
guys
another.
talk about 2 different days, but you talk about a lot of stuff and don't follow through. That's what I'm wondering.
I follow through on a lot of the main stuff, but I mean,
The main stuff is the lore and doing the book reviews because I'm doing them. But if you notice, I don't have as many people watching, so I want more people to know about Darth Plagueis. I want more people to know about Vector Prime.
Well, why don't you come on the channel one day and then
Because you guys laughed me off and called me a #1 fanboy, even though it was your chat asking you to let me on. Remember? You guys were like laughing. Oh,
remember?
fanboy,
You remember?
Well, you were if you approached it like how Mahler did, I mean, then him and I became friends. It was your approach.
He like
hey, man, look, I
Mahler,
want to talk to you about.
Can't be fake.
How did Mahler approach him? I don't remember how. He just I think he messaged him on Twitter or something, or responded like, "Hey, I'll come talk" or something like that. And I think everyone in the chat was like saying, "Bring Mahler on, bring Mahler on, bring Mahler."
Yeah,
on.
all his people in the chat were just
because like I don't think he really knew who Mahler was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not being fake, but that's just the approach. It's like let's say you're offering me a meal. It's like a 5-star.
I gotta get it in the chat. Bring Grizzy on, bring Grizzy on, bring Grizzy on. We need it.
Meal, but you throw it at me instead of just handing it to me, right? The food is going to be the same, but it's your presentation. So if you were just like, hey,
that was a weird analogy, but
that is such a weird,
I think I get it, but it was a kind of a weird analogy. I get it though. It was kind of...
like, look, like I think I could add some real value to your stream. I'm a Legends fanatic. I've read all these books, dude. I would have been totally down. I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool, I'm down. But if you come at me and try to like, then you get my back up and be like, well, who the fuck is this guy? Because I have that coming at me left, right, and center for the last 9 years. So how am I supposed to differentiate you after talking to you now for over an hour? I can see that. All right, I can see where you're coming from with certain things. But at the same time, you have to understand that I've been doing this for a long fucking time, and I've had so many people trying to vilify me and shills and this and that. And it's kind of hard to know who's who when you're approaching me with the same sort of bark.
Well, you knew I was cool with Melvin. You could hit Melvin up.
Well, that's what I did know.
No, okay. Well, that's where we're at then. So
yeah, I'm cool.
I was
cool,
never
dude.
trying to get on your stream or anything. I was actually waiting for Raging Rhino's stream to start, and he had like some shit going on, so he had to delay his stream. And I just happened to go on your stream to kill some time, and then you guys were talking about fucking the new Jedi Order after we had been saying, "Hey."
I believe, speaking of Raging Rhino, I think he's going to be covering this as well on his stream Thursday night. For us Americans. So definitely tune into that. I'm sure he'll be raging at certain points of this. Might be an entertaining watch.
When are you going to cover the new Jedi Order? We've been trolling you on Twitter about it. And then you guys did that, so that's why I ended up. I said my comments. You addressed the comment, and then your mod. I don't think it was Rossi. It was the other guy. Wait, what was his name? Pickle Cheddar. I can't remember the guy's name, dude. Whatever his name is. You know your mods better than I do. But he was the one telling me, "Oh, you should go on, bro, for real." And I don't know if he thought like, "Oh, little channel guy is gonna be intimidated." I'm like, "All right, fucking let me on." And then that's when stupid ass is doing his little laugh because that's about all he does when he's on.
Don't put so much emphasis on like little.
Oh, I thought he was gonna be like, "Don't you talk about him like that." No.
Yeah. No, he's like, don't.
That's what I thought he was going for there. Don't you talk about Stupendous, my friend Stupendous, like that. Nope. You can talk shit about him all you want.
Yeah.
That's about all he does when he's on.
Don't put so
See,
much.
like, doesn't it sound like
emphasis
that's like
on,
yeah? That's why I thought. I swear to God, I thought he was gonna do that.
Don't like
little channel, big channel, like it. You know,
No, it's about
well, that's what you guys
The
did.
little channel, big channel thing. That's what. Yeah.
But the thing is here is that he does emphasize like, oh, you just want to come on here because I have a big channel. He's always talking that shit, right? And then his mods are his followers or his cult, whatever you want to call them, will go and attack you saying, oh, you're just doing this because he's a big channel and you want the clicks and blah, 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 blah. So the people who go and watch him only say what he is saying, mirror him, and then bring it to everybody else, especially when they don't like that you are countering their leader of their cult theory. So there's a pattern there. So yeah, so going on forward, theory cultists, because I know you guys are probably going to jump on here and defend him. Don't be, now he said it's not about the big and little channel, so you can't be using that anymore as your ammo.
You guys were like literally laughing about it. That's why you don't grow and da 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 da. And then you guys were talking about little channels never collaborate and they're always shitting all over each other. That's like all I do is collaborate, right? I had 3 people on tonight. I've probably had like 15 different guests when it comes to like Star Wars and Marvel, and I've only been around for about a year. I have like I have Everest wants to come on for a stream, Bunce Books, a lot of big EU fans. Scyther Inc. on the Marvel side, he does a lot of X-Men audio dramas and stuff like that. So like, yeah, I'm like all about collaborate because to me, I'm talking about what I love, and I want people to come on that love what they. So I try to match up, certain. Hey, what's your favorite book? I haven't told my audience yet, but Angry Badger was supposed to come on. He wanted to talk about Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader. We had kind of
I like that guy
behind the scenes, because and I reached out to him because even though he'll say whatever he likes, Skeleton Crew, whatever, I see him putting it down for the EU a lot, especially with a bunch of more normie people and stuff. So I give people respect that do that. So that's why I hit him up. So eventually I got to collaborate with him on that as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm about, man. I want to get the message out there, and I want people to know good Star Wars and stop worrying and, hoping Disney's going to change, because they never are, man. They're, at the end of the day, now we have the excuses like Marvel's changing, but we have to give them 5 years or 3 years or however long it takes them to turn around a ship. And it doesn't really, man. I mean, they could just clean house and they could actually start making good shit. They could get rid of the messaging. That was my big problem with this Daredevil Born Again. You got MCU girl boss shit going all over this show, and the same people that reported about the MCU and all that for years, all of a sudden are turning a blind eye to it. And I just find that like disingenuous.
Right. So, would you say you're a very genuine person?
100%. Yeah. Like this is. You see what you get. Like when I meet you in public, this is the way that I am.
Yeah, that's how I am too, and that's how I conduct myself and how I see myself. So, what do we need to do where we could both see each other on that same light?
What do you mean?
Well, I want to see you as genuine, how you see yourself, and I want you to see me as how I see myself too, which is genuine.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Genuine. So
please stop trolling me.
What do you propose so we can both see ourselves the way we want?
Categorically freaking denounce Disney and stop covering Disney Star Wars and start covering George Lucas and Expanded Universe Star Wars.
Well, I mean, have you not seen?
Help us gatekeep real Star Wars.
I will also add rejecting all Disney Star Wars and ripping on Disney Star Wars. I will also take ripping on the show. He has ripped on shills in the past. I've seen him do it. It's like more of that, please. You don't have to do that, but just kind of just explain to your audience like why Disney Star Wars is bad. That's
Right.
all.
I feel like I do a pretty good job of gatekeeping. No?
Stop selling Disney Star Wars.
Like, I'll admit, if he could be turned, he would make a powerful ally.
Sabers and sell.
But that is a long shot. That is a long shot. I got to throw that out there. It is a long shot, and I don't expect it anytime soon. Disney would have. I think Disney would have. Purist says rewind. All right. I think Disney would have to stick the OT in Legends, and then maybe, just maybe, he'll get it
for Star Wars.
Well, I mean, have you not seen?
Help us gatekeep real Star Wars.
I feel like I do a pretty good job of gatekeeping. No?
Stop selling Disney Star Wars lightsabers and sell expanded.
I don't sell Disney Star Wars lightsabers. I sell Theoy Sabers replicas.
But you sell Disney characters lightsabers. I would get rid of the Shin Hati shit and get rid of the Balin shit. Get rid of the.
Tell you what, if Theory like destroyed cardboard cutout fuckers like Shin Hati cardboard cutout, I would subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, and I like his point.
If he'd tell him to bring it and he would just destroy it in front of him, I would subscribe to his channel if he did that. I think that would be great.
Yeah, and Theory or Pierce was like, Justin was like, and stop selling the Disney Star Wars sabers, basically. And he's like, I don't sell them, I sell replicas. And so basically he still does. He still sells, like
Disney characters, Disney Star Wars.
All of that. And that's the point.
Cal Kestis shit and just
so you'd want
straight up expanded universe and George Lucas.
So you'd want a company that
it,
So you'd want a company that really endorses Disney and scams their audience to benefit, versus at least getting it from someone who is putting it towards something that is George Lucas centric.
Yeah, because I'd rather see less Cal Kestis sabers out in the world. I'd rather see more Darth Zana sabers out there.
I liked Fallen Order. It was good. It was fun. Good game. Did you ever play it?
Nope. I watched walkthroughs. I didn't play it. I don't play modern Disney games. Like, because when I say
I did play it, I didn't like it at all.
He's all, you don't want to support Zana and them. He's like, oh yeah, I like. And he goes back to the Disney Star Wars bullshit.
Yeah.
You catch that?
Probably doesn't know who it is.
Right.
Yeah, I played Fallen Order. I didn't pay. I got like the free PlayStation Plus download of it. I was like, oh, I liked Jedi Academy. I like KOTOR. I like Force Unleashed. I'll give it a shot. It's a game. It's free, so they're not getting my money. I played the whole I honestly thought Jedi Academy's lightsaber combat was better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I think he gave Fallen Order like a 9.5 or a 9 out of 10 game. Like, I didn't like it at all.
Oh my god.
I think he did, and I also believe that he was invited to try out the game, like the Ubisoft. There's Purist coming in with it 9.7.
Yeah,
I also believe that he got invited, like the Ubisoft Outlaws Vacation. I don't know if it was a vacation, but he got to try out that game as well.
I didn't know that one.
He says like, yeah, I want to do that shit again. So very telling again. But anyway,
wow.
Order was good. It was fun. I liked Fallen Order. It was good. It was fun. Good game. Did you ever play it?
Nope. I watched walkthroughs. I didn't play it. I don't play modern Disney games.
And just a reminder, did you know that OG Star Wars, that in the sequel Survivor, like they had Vader take like an L to a bald black woman?
Oh yes, I heard about that too.
Yeah, I like actually just recently watched it on YouTube because like I knew that they fought. I didn't know that he he didn't take an L, but like he like barely squeaked out with a win. Like she was kicking his ass, and then she like dove in for the kill, and he just like turns on his saber, and she just like jumped into it, and like that's how and then Vader just like limps away on fire. Like, oh thank God. I'm just like, good fucking Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like it's bad.
Wow.
Because when I say I don't support Disney, I really don't.
Do you game?
Yeah, I just did I've done a couple Punisher streams. We're doing Revenge of the Sith next.
Oh shit! Okay.
Probably KOTOR 2 after that. But I only play classic George Lucas Star Wars, and I play classic Marvel games. Like I've got lots of people that have hit me up to come join and play Marvel Rivals, but I'm not doing that shit. I'd rather just play classic Marvel games. Like we're gonna go to Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction next on the Marvel side. Just cool, fun, old school shit.
That's cool. Yeah, I respect it, man. You want to play what you want to play. That's cool. It's fine.
You see how he glazes over that? You have Purist sticking to his morals and his word, and then you have Theory over here. It's like, I just want to do what I want to do, and I want to sell what I want to sell, and I'm just going to say that it's just protecting George's legacy, even though I'm going to still support Disney in certain games and selling their lightsaber replicas and blah 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 blah. So
if Cal Kestis shows up in something Disney Star Wars, yeah, he's gonna like it.
Right.
He's
Exactly.
gonna get excited for it. And we are just gonna roll. We're just gonna roll our eyes and like, yep, look forward to. I mean, I'll smile because I know I'll get to rip on the shills for it, but like that's the only reason I'll smile.
Yeah, that's the only reason why the smile's happening.
It's just if you're against it and you claim you're for George, then I would say just get rid of all the Disney shit. Stop promoting the Disney shit. Like I'm at the point where I don't even think like I had fun exposing and reviewing and talking shit about the Acolyte, but man,
did you?
Oh yeah, I was making 2 videos per episode because there was so much to pick apart, especially on the Darth Plagueis shit.
So like when
and I got out my book because you had misquoted because you used the Wikipedia as age. So I used my book and I said, okay, well, if you look at this, the first part of the book is this BBY to that. And I made a fucking chart, did all the math and said Plagueis has to be at least this age versus that age and da based off the information.
It's all right, Purist. You're about on what, like 5.5 hours here? It's
all plagiarism. I caught that too.
We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And double AA earlier for $2. The female version of J.A.I. Jacob. Shut up, Meg. That's true. Maybe that's Jacob's. Maybe that's Jacob's wife.
Oh my goodness.
Jet Set Radium Jet Set Radium Future for $2. Thoughts on Star Wars Central? He chat banned me. What did you do? Never watched him.
Yeah, I've never really.
Never watched. I don't even really know who that. I assume it's probably a shill. But good shit getting banned, triggering the shills. Shut up, Meg. Yeah.
Disney Lucasfilm provided.
Right. So you and I operate differently in a sense where
I'm lore focused. Yeah, like your theories and fan films, and I'm
no. Yeah. Sure, fine. But I like to go off of like my memory of shit. I may not get it.
And it's
right,
not that very good. You can't even remember your own friend.
Again, I don't blame him for that. Like that's one I'm willing to let slide by. Like nobody knows Dash who.
What I'm noticing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if you don't remember something fully or you have a doubt, you will literally go and try to find exactly what it was. Whereas when I'm live streaming, I'll just be like, oh yeah, I think it was this. And I'll literally say, I think it was this.
Oh, I do the same thing on my live streams, but then I'll come back on the next live stream and correct myself if I was wrong or something like that, or if I missed
No, I do that too. Of course.
Yeah.
No, you fucking don't.
Yeah, I'm not
you
saying,
never,
I'm not playing memory or anything like that. You know,
No, I don't like
there's
playing
not a
that game.
bar because I've had people, well, how many EU books do you need to read? You can just be reading one. Like I had John on tonight. He's read 3 Expanded Universe books now, but he's loving it. He's getting into the lore. And that's what I want to see. Like that to me is more important than somebody dropping a $20 super chat, right? Because I want people to know and appreciate Star Wars and share it with their kids and their grandkids, and I want people to know what real Star Wars is, because eventually it's going to get drowned out by all this shit, right? If you search Asajj Ventress, you can't really find that she was Rat-a-Taki anymore unless you go to like the 3rd or 4th page of a Google search, because it's drowned out by all the Disney lore about her being Dathomirian when that's not her actual original origin and not the original intent on the character.
He's really picking at his face
Yeah, but
now.
then someone who really
his
wants
nose,
to go
his nose is all red.
Bendu style.
I know. I just don't notice that. I was like, holy shit. He's like, his nose is red and everything. Oh, okay.
Deep in on it and find the actual truth. They will find those videos, and that's. I think you're not realizing the fact that the shit you are talking about is so niche, is so pinpointed, there aren't too many people like you said. It's very saturated with Assange being from Dathomir or whatever the fuck. So if people want to find the true of what it used to be before Disney came in, then they will find your videos. They will find, and they'll appreciate that more. And so you'll have a much more loyal following than a much larger, broader one. See what I'm saying?
But again,
So
you're
it's like-
doing lore videos, so just, it would be cool if you did the lore video and it was correct and accurate and it worked off of what the actual expanded universe lore was. That's why I'm like, hey, make those lore videos you said you're going to make.
Very that
That way
stupid for
people are
not
brought to
realizing
that.
the points being made here. Is he that fucking stupid that he's not realizing? Or is he like, I don't want to say accurate stuff because I'm a theorist. And so I'm just going to talk my way around it and make it sound like you're so niche and you're going to have your own followers versus mine. I'll go off of whatever memory I have and make theories out of it. And then, plagiarize Wikipedia. I don't know. Yeah.
When's the Purist versus Theory boxing match happening? Probably after Purist goes on Theory's stream. I'd say that's probably my best guess.
Again, I don't care if they're find it on my channel or yours or Ryan's or United Spacers Alliance or OG Star Wars. I just want them to find and know the information and to treasure that information instead of hoping Disney's going to hire the right person to make another fucking show that just doesn't really matter.
Right. So you do know that Ryan's made like probably 10x the amount of videos I've made regarding Kathleen Kennedy, or like what you just said, finding the right writer or whatever it might be.
Oh, sure, but Ryan's like straight up. He doesn't tell people like, oh, and once they get rid of Kathleen, maybe Colin Trevorrow can save Star. Like Ryan's like, fuck that. Star Wars is ruined. They threw the expanded universe away and they ruined their fucking chance. He doesn't really slang hopium like, oh, now it's going to be all good because Kathleen may be out of there.
I don't think I tout the fact that it's going to be good once Kathleen's gone. I think I've said many times that there's
maybe.
Yes.
Maybe it could be.
going to be another clone that will probably come in, but I never do lose hope, and I truly do believe
there it is, you guys. That's the problem. That is the problem. That's why, like, what do they have to do? What more do they have to do? You're going to keep saying that, then you're going to get something. There's going to be another acolyte. So eventually, it might be Ahsoka season 2. It might be Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right.
It might be it could be. There's going to be another acolyte season 2, or the Rey movie if it happens. And they want to do the Rey movie. Rey is their character, but apparently they think now if they can push it and push it and push it, people might come around on it. They're waiting to see people come around on her. I think they're going to bring her into something else, just have her show up as a surprise key jingle, and then the fucking idiots are going to be like, "Oh my god, she's back!" And then
that's their formula.
Yep. Yeah. So doing a movie about her, that's the Marvels 2.0, as I call it. It's going to bomb, guaranteed. I think they know that. That's why they keep. Because again, you're never going to convince me that the Rey movie was not the. You're never going to convince me that the Rey movie was not the first intended movie for Disney Star Wars to do. That 100% it was originally the first movie that they wanted to do. That's why it was the first one announced. And then they saw 2 years ago now at Celebration 2023 when they trotted her out there.
Yes.
The idiots clap, but everybody else is like, wow, holy shit. And then the first two movies are not the Rey movie. It's the Mandalorian and Grogu, and then it was the Gosling movie. I think Kathleen Kennedy said it was, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whatever that one was.
Yeah.
That will probably come in. But I never do lose hope, and I truly do believe. Would you not? What would fix Lucasfilm, or is it completely the brand is fucked?
What would fix Lucasfilm?
Yes.
I think we all know. We all know the answer to that question.
You believe? Would you not? What would fix Lucasfilm, or is it completely the brand is fucked, the company's fucked? There's nothing they can do.
Company and brand is fucked.
So even if they cleaned house, George fucking came back,
but they're not. That's the thing.
George can't even fix it.
Right.
George is not coming back. George is. How old's George? 82. How old's George? 82.
82 or 83, something like that. He's like in his early mid 80s. Yeah.
George is not coming back. And then by the time, if George came back today, the first thing he did, we wouldn't see for another 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's going to be 85 at that point. Bringing back George is not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything.
All the what ifs, like
unless
love
they decanonized everything, but even then, still,
yeah,
and they're not going to do that.
What
either.
if Ryan Kinnell fucking ran fucking Star Wars? Right, that sounds great. It's fun to play that game, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to clean house. They're going to go fire every single creative and everybody on the story group. That's never going to happen.
They're not going to do that.
And George is too old. That's why George, like, so another misconception, like George is, he's going to do the sequels. Those story treatments were added to like sweeten the deal for the Disney purchase, right? He never, when he was creating
Star Wars Central is trapped. Might have to put him on the list. Might have to put him on the list. Might have to check them out. Maybe put them on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jet Set Radium, for the $2.
the prequels. That's when Del Rey took over the Bantam licensing. And he instructed them to create the new Jedi Order as a continuation and the sequels of the grandchildren. That's why he says even in the novels, it's about the father, the son, and the grandchildren. He knew based off what was happening was he was creating the prequels that it was going to take too much time out of his life. He had a family that he was starting again with his new marriage, and he knew he was never going to actually do sequels. Like that was never real. Now, sure, some idiot can go cherry pick what he said in 1981, but we're talking when he made the prequels. Like George already knew, like that's an evolved position, right? I could talk about I'm making 20 Star Wars films in 1979. That doesn't supersede what I said in 2000, right? Because now I'm older. I see how everything's played out, and I realize, hey, I'm never going to get around to that, and that's why they were done in the expanded universe.
So when I interviewed Paul Hirsch, who worked with and also
the Star Wars Archives. Yeah. I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, and Paul Hirsch, not Paul Duncan, Paul Hirsch.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Both of them have. Paul Hirsch worked with George on episode 4, and in an interview with him that I had, he even said that even back then, George was talking about doing a sequel to this whole thing. He originally wanted to do 9 films. That was the whole idea. And so when he finished the prequel trilogy, which is what he wanted to start with, which, as you know, he couldn't because the technology didn't exist, he was already producing, actually in pre-production, for episode 7. So he took everyone behind a tent, and as you know, the whole thing with what is it? You just did a post about this, didn't you? With Rogers.
Oh, with the Grady Ranch stuff.
Yeah, the people who didn't, they like vetoed him. They vetoed him out on his decision for the land. And so that's why he couldn't do the sequel trilogy. And so he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll just sell it.
Well, that wasn't for the sequel trilogy. That was for Underworld.
So Roger told me, which nobody knew, is that was actually for the sequels.
But Roger created the first lightsaber, right? I mean, I don't think he was
drafted. He did, but he was also on episode 1. He was also on episode 1 as a second director.
Okay. But I don't see how that equates to him knowing George is doing sequels, because again, George made it clear there's New York Times, I believe LA Times articles that George knew that he was not doing sequel trilogies. That was back when he was creating the PT.
Yeah, forget all that. But back when he was doing the prequels, he also knew that he was going to do episode 7, 8, 9. Even back when he was doing episode 4.
No,
but that's what the sequels are.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put in the chat, George had said it took him 6 films to tell what he thought would be 9 or 12 films, right? That conclusion came as he was making and as he was concluding the prequel trilogy. And I believe it's in one of the archives too, he discusses it. And I have to go through the filmography of George Lucas that I have on my shelf. And there is even mention about that as well. You can even Google it if you want to. George had said many times it took him to tell what he wanted to tell within 6 films. And so if Purist has ever read, and he says he has the Star Wars archives because I've seen him reference stuff from it before on his channel and on Twitter. He should know this already. So even George's own editors, anybody who's worked for George, he has this expansive idea. So the OT at the time, yes, he probably thought that he could tell it in 9 R3 trilogies, 9 stories. But by the time he got to the PT, like I said, he realized it only took him 6.
Nice. Good shit. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he wasn't doing them, but then he said that he was. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's right. I know it doesn't make sense, but these are the sources I have. I mean, you can believe the New York Times or whatever the fuck, but
no, they're direct quotes of George Lucas in the New York Times. I don't.
Sure, and maybe publicly he didn't want it to get out there, but he told his guys on
He
the
probably
inside
straw
that,
manning
yeah,
and
we're
stuff
totally
like that.
gonna do this. And I also have that confirmation from Paul Bateman as well, who did all of the, took care of all the art for Ralph McQuarrie.
So what George said in an
7.
interview was not as valid as people who he worked with and talked with before. That George may have said later on that it only took me 6 to tell the story. See how this is? This is like the shill fucking logic with George Lucas here. It's like, no, George is wrong, but what his people said is right, or so on and vice versa, or whatever. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally in pre-production. And he couldn't get the people to vote for that thing. And then he was like, fuck it, I'll just sell it.
Yeah, the Grady Ranch stuff, like that's all tied to Underworld. I don't know of any connection that had to the sequels, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can even go back in that interview I had with Paul Hirsch. The guy is literally sitting there, and I said, wait, so 9? He's like, yeah. Like, so he was supposed to, like, literally cut the dude off. I'm like, so George wanted to do 1 to 9. He said, yeah.
They also, George wanted to do 12 at one point too, but it was still the same
yeah.
story arc that he told in 6 movies.
Well, the thing that changed was his idea of the sequels, right? With the whole like symbiotes, and then it was like Darth Maul, and then it was, at that time Darth Maul didn't even exist.
So his thing here is like I said, and I said this earlier when I first jumped on here, is that the treatments and the ideas for a sequel trilogy was written down and was part of the deal of selling Lucasfilm to Disney. So he had these ideas, and then when you read about those ideas in the Star Wars archives, episode 1 through 3, basically that's almost the same idea as you would get after you read post Return of the Jedi for Luke, Han, and Leia and their story. And so he had sold more than one treatment for the deal to Lucasfilm, and that's including what is shared in the archives. Mm-hmm. And when you listen, or when you do your research, keywords research here, Dewey Decimal, anyways, when you get into the James Cameron interview with George Lucas, and that's like 2019 or 18 or something like that, he still says my idea was about the wheels. Has always been about the wheels. So, yeah. And so Star Wars Marvel Purist says he's talking about the liberal neighbors. We just covered that in detail last week. Yeah, that the Underworld show is not the ST. And the thing is, he introduced the Underworld show at Star Wars Convention 2005, which basically is the ending production, and episode 3 was getting ready to come out. So that allotment for the ranch there that he wanted to expand on for his own studio was all about, it was all after the PT. If you look at the events, that's all after the PT. So it has nothing to do with the PT at all. So yeah.
Jet Set Radium Future Star Wars Theory is a shill in the closet.
Mm-hmm. He's pissed off. And he's paying you for it to vent right here too. Right on. We'll check it out.
You're shilling too hard.
That's crazy. Yeah,
He wanted to have Luke be an old Obi-Wan and all this and that. That was the original plan.
Yeah, but that's all old stuff. That's before the prequel production.
I know. And
so that doesn't
agree.
equate to, because again, when he went to make the prequels, he realized this shit's going to take me too long because the prequels are going to take me a decade, and I'm starting a family, and I know that I can't, dedicate another 10 years and wait for technology advancement, right? Because that's what he did with the prequels. That's what the expanded universe did to carry on Star Wars, because he was waiting for the technology to be there. And then when Jurassic Park happened, that was one of the big indicators that we had gotten to a point where they were blending the CG and the tech and the practical effects to be able to create the prequel trilogy.
Yeah. And this is all stuff that we've read online, but what I'm telling you is stuff literally from Paul Hirsch and Roger Christian and Paul Bateman.
But they're just saying, just because they work with George Lucas doesn't make them credible sources, right? Have you seen the Vice video about Marsha Lucas and she saved everything in editing? Those are a bunch of people that all work with George Lucas, and they're all a bunch of disgruntled ex-Lucasfilm employees that are mad that they didn't get to continue on. So they all say George didn't even really do much for Empire Strikes Back, and this.
Oh,
that,
of course,
and
they shit on him.
And it's a big fucking hit piece. So, again, now, not to say Paul and Roger and them are doing that to George, but again, they're just because they produced and, or created something under George's banner doesn't make them all knowing. It's just, at the end of the day, that's just a rumor. There's nothing like George Lucas hasn't come out and substantiated anything they've said.
Right. But him saying that publicly in the New York Times versus him saying that to his actual dude, I get it. You're saying it's more like a trust me bro kind of thing, but it's literally on record of the guy who worked with him. It wasn't just working under his umbrella. George just wrote a forward in Roger's
Did he
book
just get condescending with Purist right here? Oh, it's not this is all about a trust me bro, but I spoke to the people here, and so what you seen George say and
trust me, bro.
Yeah. That's so fucking condescending. And he's like saying all these people that I interviewed their words are more superior over George, even though George basically said that I was done telling the story after 6 episodes. Holy shit.
Yes, he said the 6 movies are my Star Wars, my vision. Yep, he said it.
Yep.
The touting him.
That's why when the shill's going, this is Star Wars. This isn't. Oh, fuck off.
One of the only close people to him that worked on the films. It's not just like some random dude.
So that just means that they're cool after making the films. Everyone else fucking. He was very close with Joe Johnston too. He put him through school, and then he became a director and did the Captain America movie. That was like.
Who's Joe Johnston?
Huh?
Who's Joe Johnson?
Joe Johnson. He worked on the original trilogy, and then also John Knoll was very close with George. Right? They created like Adobe and shit like that. So there was definitely, he had other relationships with other people, but Joe Johnston, he's the one that created the Captain America was his first directed movie, the first Avenger.
Okay,
yeah. George sent him to USC and shit like that so he could become a director.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you what I've heard, and then the fact that then Paul Duncan, which is the guy you thought I was talking about, with the archives guy. He also confirmed then, but of course, then George changed the whole idea. And
again, we're taking information that's more outdated and trying to up against newer information that George had disclosed after the fact.
Right. Yeah, but the point is that he always had an idea of 1 to 9. He executed on 6, and then by the time for whatever reason, him getting too old or whatever, the people not signing the bill, he didn't do it. But he always had this general idea of 9 films. You can even see Mark Hamill back in the 80s or whatever, where he was talking about how George had the idea
so
for
stuck
an
on
old
this 9 films
to be like an old Ben.
Yeah,
and not realizing he even talks about the old Luke, whatever here, and not realizing that what he's talking about was the treatments he gave or sold to Disney and stuff like that. And it was always the wills. But anyways, I'm just repeating myself because he's fucking repeating himself. And
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I kind of want to close this at 10:30 so we can do the members stream. I have the members stream planned for 10:30, so I'm going to skip a little bit. Purist, if I miss anything, let me know. I'll go back. I'm just going to skip because he is going around with this 9.
Yeah, he even uses Mark Hamill as a credible source about, there was always a plan for 9 episodes, but in the early stages of the OT, he wanted to tell this whole story. And then later on, like I said, years later, when the PT came out, he's like, I'm done telling what I needed to tell, so yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pause.
What's chat saying? I don't have anything up here.
George Lucas
Probably don't want to know. Oh, there you go. There she is.
Mm-hmm.
George said there was no sequel trilogy himself. That is true. I've seen that clip.
said there was no sequel trilogy himself. Yeah. We have that like on multiple. I don't have the video up right now. Let me see. Actually, I think I have it on a part of a clip.
Bro, shill in the closet is due daff. Thank you, Jet Set Radium Future, for another $2.
Yeah, I don't have. There's no clip of him saying there is going to be a sequel trilogy. It's only people he's worked with or employed.
See, he's like, oh,
Until
so trust
he
me,
did that
bro.
interview with Paul Duncan. That's the only time I can think of on record where he's literally said any sort of details about the sequel trilogy that he had in mind.
He never had any in mind. That was for Disney.
Which would have been nice.
And I have to
AI is that so many people are going to be able to make all of these different projects themselves very soon.
I have to find it again, but like I think it's LA Times 2008, so probably the same thing when he's talking about there's no sequel trilogy. He also says, George also says the sequels are the novels, basically.
Yeah.
So it's all in the same. Yeah, it's all in that article.
And okay, you want to know my solution to Star Wars? Wait until the copyright dies.
The copyright. Oh,
yeah, because the copyright
what's the
will
law on
expire.
that?
100 years, I think.
Oh.
Right, that's when they just released Mickey Steamboat, Willie, Mickey, whatever. So yeah, and when I'm dead in 2077, we'll get real Star Wars again because then
You never know, bro.
You
You
give a fuck about it.
You might be
They're gonna make
97.
Great stuff. Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, we can only hope. I think, like Ryan says, I'd probably rather die younger.
Oh, Dash Who's in the chat. Mark Hamill went on record in an interview in the 80s about the sequel trilogy. Okay. Yeah. Mark Hamill was in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need somebody changing my diapers later on. 100 years. Yep. That's right, Soul.
Yo, what up, Scran?
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
That's another, like, he just started. He used to kind of follow Disney Star Wars, and boom, we got him out of the Disney Matrix.
Really?
Pulled him out. Yep. Now he's all about the expanded universe. He's learning, sharing what he's learning with everybody. It's good stuff. What's this guy doing? Where have you been, dude?
Corn dog
streaming, buddy.
Corn dog theory. I know who that is.
I love it, man.
There you go. Get him on the stream.
Right.
That meeting needs to happen.
I tried to get monetized. I told my wife it would take me a year to get monetized. I mean, technically, I got partial monetization in 7 months, right? So,
what's partial monetization?
Are they kind of like just like BS in here towards the end?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, it starting
Okay.
to slow down some more.
Okay,
It's like
I'm gonna skip a little bit. I kind of want to like end this in like about a little bit, do a little outro, and then move over to the members hangout. So at 10:30. So we'll let a little of this play. I'll skip a little bit.
So it's different from when you started, right? So partial's 500 subs and 3,000 hours.
Yeah.
Been put together.
Oh yeah. That's creators. But it's
Tell me
like,
about
yeah,
this.
dude.
What?
Oh, he makes videos.
Is he talking about the Melvin tournament? Okay, I kind of want to hear this.
Even starting my channel, so some people threw shade because he makes videos and stuff because some people weren't obviously content creators. But it's
Tell me
like,
about this.
dude.
What is this? Is a competition that Melvin put together?
Oh yeah. Oh, you never heard about it, dude? Here, let me fucking find
No,
this
I
shit.
watched some of his videos, but I mean, there's a bunch I obviously miss.
Knights of Melvin.
Yes, Jet Set, we're doing a members hangout for about 30, 45 minutes after the stream. Taught the upper tier, I don't even know my own. The inner circle level can join the stream if you want, and then everyone else can just hang out for a little bit. Totally optional if you want to make it, but yeah, we're doing a member. On this channel, I try to do members-only hangouts after every stream as much as possible. We'll be doing that a lot starting next month when we get into these breakdowns. Last of Us, Andor, Ironheart, Dexter, Resurrection, whole bunch of them, and movies.
Let's share this shit. I mean, he actually likes more Disney Star Wars than he doesn't like, and then I proved it. So that won. So that was a risky
Eternal
entry for me, right? 'Cause a lot
Glory.
of people are like, well,
Yeah, I think both the finalists are in the chat. That wasn't Chuck, the other finalist. It was like basically Purist versus Chuck for first place, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, Chuck made some good videos too. Those were pretty funny. Those are some good shits.
He says go back.
Go back? Oh, to
That's what he
when?
says. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to figure out what point he's trying to have us our probably show.
Melvin Turner. Okay, here's the first one,
There we
10
go,
months
Melvin
ago.
Turner.
And so this is the one that you
Go back 40 more seconds. Okay. All right, so like almost that's like 50 seconds.
Melvin's $1,000 giveaway.
Oh.
And it was a
What is
3-round
this?
competition.
Okay.
Won. And I had just barely been starting my channel, so you know, some people threw shade because he makes videos and stuff, because some people weren't obviously content creators. But it's
Tell
like,
me about
yeah,
this.
dude.
What is this? Is a competition that Melvin put together?
Oh yeah. Oh, you never heard about it, dude? Here, let me fucking find
No,
this
I
shit.
watched some of his videos, but I mean, there's a bunch I obviously miss.
What kind of friend are you? Oh yeah, you forget about it.
Let's share this shit. Melvin Turner. Okay, here's the first one, 10 months ago.
And so this is the one that you won?
Well, we did three rounds, right? So I did are you familiar with Tupac?
What? Yeah, obviously. What do you mean? Like,
Okay, so I did a whole fucking Star Wars song
The rap, yeah.
about Disney shills fucking with Hit 'em Up, and I made my own lyrics.
okay, got it. And then
Okay, that one round one.
okay.
And then round two, I can't remember the specifics on round two. Oh, why do you want to?
Oh, I think we covered that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Darth Pause. Yeah, that was in the... Yes, if you guys missed part one, it's on the channel. You can go back and watch it. Yeah, it's that was where it was kind of heated between the purist and the theory.
Avenge Star Wars.
Okay.
And then round three was roast a Disney shill, and Melvin was kind of worried because I chose to roast you, and everyone else was going after Sexplained or a cardboard cutout fucker, Tony, whatever his name is. But I went after you because I'm like, well, I mean,
I wish Purist, the only I wish you would have told him he won the Simple Jack Award.
Oh yeah, I know. And he's probably
You also won the Simple Jack Award, and yeah, Simple Theory. Don't worry. So we need some simple theories spammed in the next Rule of Three stream on Theory's channel.
actually likes more Disney Star Wars than he doesn't like, and then I proved it. So that won. So that was a risky entry for me, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, Theory's more of a fence rider than a shill, and I'm like, well, let's prove otherwise. So anyways.
Yeah, you know, I get it from all different angles where people are like, yeah, he's a toxic hater.
Yeah, so like the fence, yeah, so he hears fence rider and he thinks like, yeah, that's just because like, yeah, so nobody likes me, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what
it has
fence
nothing to
riders
do. It
do.
has nothing to do with
From
like,
all
yeah, it has
angles.
nothing to do with him liking some Disney Star Wars and then hating other and anything when
Yeah.
it should all be rejected. Yes.
And then he's a misogynist, and then he's a shill, and then he's a fence rider, and I'm like, it's hard to piss off everybody, but somehow I did it.
Well, when you don't
Yeah, I
follow
mean, it
your
happened, like,
morals and your stance, then yeah, you piss off everybody because, and that's how he built his channel. He started off, he recognized the popular audience, he fed to them. Then as things shifted, he realized that shifted, so he shifted, and then so he pissed off the original ones, and then he keeps going like that. So
He goes with what's ever popular at the time.
right, and that's even going with the group of people he's hanging out with right now. Those people are popular right now, so he's gonna go ahead and use them just to feed his channel himself and maybe even his ego. I don't know. So
Again,
Ego.
when like a lot of your like ardent defenders on Twitter, right? The first thing they say is, "Okay, you fucking acolyte lover." It's like, oh yeah, motherfucker, I got like 16, 18 videos tearing the acolyte apart.
So then, are you saying that if something comes out as bad as the Acolyte, you're just You just ignore it. You're not going to make videos about it.
Why is this shit up?
You know, like how me and Ryan make videos on like this is bullshit, this is ass.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still gonna roast it. Like a lot of it, like for instance, I didn't watch Skeleton Crew. Like I watched reviews. That's kind of what I did before I even started a channel, right?
Play
like,
the video.
No, they're reviews because I don't really watch it. Now we're gonna review shit, you know, and I get bootleg stuff too, right? Like I don't do like I don't know if you're from, well, you know who Echo Base Network is, right? So his big thing is he made a big thing, went on
Mako Mermaids.
Mako Mermaids on Disney Plus.
And nowhere else.
Yeah, nowhere else.
Twitter announcing how he had canceled Disney Plus. He was so excited to let everyone know on Twitter, only to find out he then went and resubscribed to Disney Plus, and then he went on, I don't know, well, you know who Darth Paws is, right? He trolled you and you got all
yeah. Darth Paws, shout out. We know who he is. He's here. He's back.
Video, right, on your boat.
Yeah.
So
so I got pissed off.
He went
right?
on. He was making fun of Darth Paws, calling him a 12-year-old. He went on his fucking stream and got roasted basically because Darth Paws. And he ended up sharing a link without his permission and let 3 of his buddies on the stream. Now Paws didn't have to let him on, but he did, and he roasted him. And he basically said that the reason he has Disney Plus is because his kids want to watch Mako Mermaids. The funny thing about that,
I've said it a million times. The only reason we have it is because my kids want to watch Mako Mermaids sometimes. So
that's... $1.99 on YouTube. What a ripoff.
The funny thing,
I want to watch Mako Mermaids sometimes.
Amazon Prime. Who doesn't have Amazon Prime? Subscribe to. Oh wait, that might be him. I was gonna say that's probably Purist. Okay.
I mean, if you.
And that's where I go with the disingenuous shit. So he like straight up lied about, and then Nick came on another stream because they got all triggered because I put them and your name on a thumbnail.
Yeah.
And Nick said, "Oh, well, he didn't know, you know, because his wife handles that and all that." Okay, well then why didn't he announce to everyone the
time go back?
Yeah, I don't care about that. Like when people come in my chat, I just talk shit to them.
Got to skip PE because they were so good at hockey that they would just go to hockey practice.
Oh yeah, that's him. I play hockey because of
no. Oh yeah, he like doesn't play hockey and he's Canadian.
No, so you've never actually played hockey up here, I guess.
No, my buddy did. My buddy was on travel leagues.
All right, so
about
this...
you, I asked Ryan about you. Like, so what's this dude about?
Jeremy? Oh, this is talks about asking Ryan and Jeremy about him.
We'll close. We'll wrap it up on that.
It's only book 3. Get caught up. You can come.
No, I got to read book 2 first.
Well, then yeah, then you gotta get caught up.
Rest is
on. Ryan came on.
Chris, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. I can't go 6 hours like you. All right.
Well, right on, man. I hope you keep killing it.
I'm gonna keep trying. Yep, that'll work.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we're good, man. I'm gonna freaking hit the hay. It's a 6-hour. I think you've now helped me stream longer than any other stream. So
right on. Good. Well, hey, I enjoyed my time. Enjoyed talking to you finally, and I'm sure we'll talk again anytime you want to come on the channel on a live stream or something and talk about anything.
Oh, there you go. Anytime. It's. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. I hope it does happen. I hope it does happen. I hope we all find our way there at some point.
Legends, EU, whatever.
Well, I mean, we're early enough in the story. If you get caught up and read Dark Tide Ruin, it's only book 3. Get caught up, you can come.
No, I got to read book 2 first.
Well, then yeah, then you got to get caught up because like Ryan's come on. Ryan came on. I didn't even know. Like, it's not like I wouldn't invite him, but he just popped on out of the blue. It was actually the first book. Well,
bro, I've done my research. I asked Jeremy.
I've been watching you.
About you. I asked Ryan.
I researched you.
But he can't research and read other things.
Oh, man. I mean, how does Jeremy remember me? I met him at like one meetup. How's he gonna remember me out of a lineup?
He didn't, but he recognized your name in his streams.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's like, I recognize that name. I think he's in one of our communities, and I'm like, okay, you know anything about him? He's like, no, not that I can remember.
Maybe he saw me spamming my content in his content share. I'm just kidding.
Is that what you're doing?
Nah. I mean, obviously, if I'm in somebody's Discord, if they have a place to share content, I'll share it. But man, most people.
That's a good point, Chuck. It'll be more fair when I think it'll still be advantage purist. I do. I still think so. But that is a good point.
Aren't looking at that shit.
Yeah, everyone's
It
doing
is
that
what it
nowadays.
is. I like the
and
product.
that's okay. I get it. You got to grow. But hey, look, anytime you want to come on my channel and you want to tout your channel, I'm cool with that.
Oh, he doesn't worry about being
I'll
big,
keep that in mind.
present channels and stuff like that. But you can come on anytime, so you can tout your channel, blah blah blah. You can grow it, blah blah blah. You can use my platform, my big old platform.
Well, they made some inroads here. They made some progress.
Yeah.
Hey, you keep that in mind.
See, this is much better than doing this in private, right? We could have just.
Well, he brings it back around.
I would have rather did it in private. Yeah, he's making a face there. Well,
Look at his face. I'm like, oh, you just exposed the shit out of me, and I fell for it.
Sorry, guys, that was funny to me.
It's better.
It would have been the same.
There you go. Gotta.
But then no one.
Then we would have kept Melvin up all night, right? Because wasn't Melvin in the chat with you? And then he would have been like.
Yeah, he was, but he went to bed. He went to bed around like 11. He sent me the link to your.
He didn't go to bed at all. He was chatting with us in the chat.
Yeah.
Moments.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Okay, all right, you guys. I think that's it. We actually made. I was so glad we made it through the whole thing tonight. I did not want to have to go do another part 3 of this. So,
did it through.
All right, you guys. I'm Mr. Grizzy. This is OG Star Wars. Make sure you subscribe to myself and to OG Star Wars. Link to her channel is in the description. Be sure to catch the stream on the replay if you missed it. Channel members, stay tuned at about 10:30. After I finish this horrible outro, because all my outros are horrible. 10:30, we're going to go live for the members only hangout. If anyone wants to get on that, you can become a member here real quick. Love to see you guys there. Got some big shit coming up on the main channel this week. We got shill watch-alongs on Wednesday, and we have Star Triggered Episode 3 on my channel. A little announcement on Star Triggered. Star Triggered for the foreseeable future is going to be solely on my channel. So we've decided to do that moving forward. So make it a little bit easier for you guys to find it. We thought that bouncing back and forth between channels might make it bouncing back and forth between channels would be a little harder for you guys to find the stream. So we're just going to stick it on mine for the time being, fully as it becomes bi-monthly and then eventually weekly. I think we're going to go bi-monthly probably by the summer, I would guess. But anyway, Star Triggered Episode 3, Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern on the main Mr. Grizzy. If you're not subscribed to the main Mr. Grizzy channel, get the hell over there and subscribe. Link to that's in the description. And the Disney shows, you guys, they are going to Star Wars Celebration 2025. We're going to be exposing Star Wars Celebration 2025 and the shills who are going there. And we got some shit. We definitely got some shit on that. So be sure to tune in to Star Triggered Episode 3 on Friday night. OG Star Wars, you got anything going on?
So this whole week, like going forward from Thursday to Tuesday, there will be nothing going on the channel because I'll be traveling and finishing up a training finally. And so returning back next week. So still catch Gatekeepers Alliance support. I will have a little clip here or there for them since I'll be absent for training and stuff like that. So right now a little pause, but not long, and then we'll continue on. So thank you again for having me here.
Absolutely. All right, Jet Set Future, one more for $2. Thank you for all the super chats. We gotta say stay strong indeed. All right, you guys. I'm gonna put the stream on members only. I'm gonna do that right now. So the members only stream is up live right now. It's up. Okay, yes, it's up right now. So everyone who's a member on the channel, head over there. I will see you there in about 5 minutes. So see you guys then, guys. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in. See you guys on Wednesday night on the main channel then. Have a good one, guys.